I have
On.
to wait for my girl now.
Well, you better check her cargo pants.
Okay, we're almost ready, Sarah. Oh, okay.
We're not ready.
Okay,
You have to turn it on.
Duh.
Planning and zoning meeting of November 12th called to order at 7:06 PM. I shall establish roll call. Dan Scow.
Present.
Sue Cobus is absent and excused tonight, and Chairman Melissa Wilson.
Here.
Okay, a quorum has been established.
All right, let's just truck on along. We've got the Farmer Leonard, sign installation, freestanding sign.
Okay, I am representing the applicant on this. This is a real simple, if you see in your packet, it's a template that is coming out.
Okay.
So it is, Boss Vision is coming out, because they're no longer at that building, and Farmer Payne Architects are moving in.
Perfect.
They are still within their parameters. The sign is 8 feet by 2 feet. It's gonna be placed again in between the existing posts. It is double-sided. The sign is compliant, and
It's just, it says it's vinyl, I assume it's not gonna be like a banner sign, it's
it's
an
not a
actual
banner,
banner
it's an
sign, a
actual,
vinyl
yeah.
sign. Okay,
And
just
it's,
checking.
and it's not lit.
Okay, perfect. Looks good to me. Mr. Scow?
I have no issues with it. I'll make a motion to approve the Farmer Payne Architects Lot 13B Palisade Heights sign installation.
Okay, so,
So,
procedural question
You-
here. I don't have a second person
Yeah,
besides me, so
you-
do I second?
you second.
And then we, okay.
and then we,
I have a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
There we go.
all right, moving right along, the Family Dollar Store. Changing out.
yes, that's me again.
Okay,
Okay, so Family Dollar has a roof leak issue.
okay,
And what they are doing is they're taking off their old rooftop unit and replacing it with like kind rooftop unit. And it's actually, it's the heating air conditioning unit
Okay.
that is actually leaking and made
a
a little
mess.
bit of mess.
Okay,
So,
all right,
the applicant is Holbrook Service. They will be doing all of the work. They're out of Utah, and they do have their business license.
perfect.
I'll make a motion to approve MC-1124, change out of the heating system at the Family Dollar Store.
I'll second said motion. Any further discussion?
Christine, is this, is it bigger? Is it a bigger, heavier weight unit?
No,
Do we know
it's
anything about
all the same.
It's all the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
It, to be honest, was a not top-notch installation.
Oh, okay, okay,
That was sort of
okay, that works.
a correct way.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have a second? Did I second that? I think I did.
You second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving right along. Side brew? I'm sorry, can you? Cedar brew,
Brew.
sorry, Cedar brew. All right, what have we got going on?
Here, come on up front,
Yeah, Have a
guys.
seat. Cedar brew. Raising wet services.
Here's the plans. I'm gonna give this set down to.
Yeah, pass them on over.
Dan,
I'll set them right here on top of this
and
stuff.
then
So
these to you.
do we want to look at them?
Sure, we can look at them together.
Oh,
Or you
oh.
get one too.
Oh, I thought we were going to.
Okay, his is the one that's all marked up,
Okay.
so
Well,
if you wanna share.
we should probably look at that one because it has all the proper information on it.
been identified with plan
And the things we need to get resolved.
items to be resolved.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and did y'all get a copy of this as well? Okay,
We
on the
did.
backside, what needs to be?
Yep.
Okay.
Due to the timing of the application submittal and holidays and the availability of the inspector to review it,
So any window next to
They
a
just
door
now
with
got
lights,
their
which is they have to be
green, their green
Oh, that's what
sheet.
the safety glazing means,
tempered.
is
Yeah, so
tempered?
it's
Okay.
tempered. So anything by a tub needs to be tempered.
I'm so sorry, Christine.
Nope,
You were
that's okay.
saying?
They just now got their green sheet,
Oh, okay.
so.
So they don't know
There will
the
be some
items.
items that they're gonna need to work on.
Okay,
I think the door needs safety glazing if it's got a glass, so.
okay. Is that listed here as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Lincoln County's located.
Yeah, so the res check, I mistakenly did it in zone 5, which is colder than zone 7, so, I mean, technically, but yeah, I'll have to get that updated. I was planning on having to add some R5 on the sheeting, but I don't think we're gonna need to do that after all, so, I'll of course get that updated.
Should be separated from the residences attached.
So minimum vent area for the crawl space and the roof.
Is that 4 or 5?
Do you have it spec'd out?
I don't believe it's spec'd out on the plans,
Okay.
so we will,
You understand the math, how to get to that?
we do.
All right.
Elevation. Where's the, on the site plan on the, where it's listed on the property?
Attic access,
What's your page number there, Sunshine?
I tried to circle the pages that had writing on them.
it would be probably, it should be on this sheet,
That's marked down too.
so. Usually it's marked on the truss plan, so are you gonna access, these trusses will be accessed for somewhere inside the house, correct?
Yes, they will.
Where?
I have not determined location.
Okay?
It's kind of up to
Obviously, it
them.
won't be in the living room. but
Yeah,
it'll-
exactly. Most likely maybe master closet
All right,
Oh,
is where we would do it.
and then you have another one,
Yes, we'll
For
do
the
another
garage.
in the garage, so we can draw those in, or if you'd like, we can get some
we should draw
plans.
those in.
Okay,
Got a yellow marker there, Christine?
No, but I have purple and I have blue.
Blue is good, blue is
can we have
good.
them be somewhat of tentative locations, and we can work with Dan if they decide they want, hey, we want it in this
Yeah.
bedroom instead?
We just need to have them on here.
Sure.
So
Cool.
wherever you guys determine that once you need that to be, we need to have them on the plans, is
So
basically
here you
what it
go.
comes down to.
Sounds good.
But I think his concern is that,
If they come around?
Yeah,
I'll be here.
okay, and then what about, a site plan? Where it's
opening,
sitting on
The
the
site
property?
plan is all the way on the back page.
Oh, yes, sir, pardon me, sir.
Put this one,
Some items still need to be looked at on the
where's
site.
our master?
Okay, yeah, that's what we're
Master
trying to.
bedroom is here. And the closet,
Is it?
it's on the left,
that one? right
that
there?
one, that's the closet.
I'll put it in here.
There you
Let's look at that. Thank you, sir. Let's take a
go.
look
And
at
then
this.
there's, additional comments, you have, openings for underfloor venting, foundation vents.
What's that?
Do we have to have the attic?
We do, just because the trusses are in separate.
They should be on the foundation.
I don't think he heard you, Dan. Sorry, she was asking him a question.
Into-
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, that's
Stop.
fine. We can put it in the.
Foundation wall.
Foundation wall?
Yep, we can do that too.
Okay, so we want this. All right,
That's not what I was looking for.
so
Do we
that's,
need, do we need these drawn on there?
you need to
Yeah.
have those drawn on,
Okay,
okay? So
Can we do
With
the
all
math
these
on that
changes-
as well?
What's that?
Can we do the math on that as well? And just draw that on?
If you can do the math, you can calculate it right now,
Okay.
and then you could say, this is how many events we have. I'm not gonna tell you what that is.
Yeah,
I'm willing to do that.
okay.
I
So
always
we'll-
do the math.
But that has to be on the plan.
Sure. I
No,
can do
these
that.
are the crawl-space fence.
So are you gonna
Okay.
update these plans? Are you gonna redraw them so they're marked by, so there's not red pencils?
Are we gonna get a different set of plans with all of these proper marks?
If that's what you guys would prefer, we can do that.
I would think that that's the plan that we've been going by since we got here.
Okay.
What you got, Christine?
So just so you know, the inspector has contacted your engineer
Okay.
and kind of discussed a couple of items.
Sure.
So I think he's expecting a phone call from you.
Okay. Perfect.
136.
I'll work with him, and then we'll get 3 new sets printed and dropped with all the changes.
So it's just gonna be so long. Okay. I was just trying to get to
Is that
the,
page loaded in this one?
the site plan.
Okay,
Page.
go back to the
Previous one?
Elevation?
Foundation vents? Yes.
Or is that, okay.
Elevation.
Overhang.
It's not 18 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was just their standard system. We wouldn't have done a 12-inch overhang.
No, but you're gonna have to.
But yeah,
We'll need to have.
of
that
course, we'll get it on the
updated as
plans.
well. Yes, sir.
Like I said, I just want you to know I'm not expecting to do a 12-inch overhang is all.
Okay,
So,
perfect. This is the site plan.
snow storage,
Yes, sir.
Which is where?
it's
Uh,
marked.
It's marked on the plan.
It is on one. Oh, 10 by 10.
Yeah, because the driveway is X square feet. Do you have the calculations for that? It's right there, area. It's 20%.
660 square foot of driveway.
It's 20%. You do the math. Utility line,
Right here, electric and gas.
got it, perfect.
Water,
Yep, and water
sewer.
and sewer as well.
Okay, and I'm sure you'll have that.
Are you running gas?
I don't believe so. Unless it's later add-ons, first we burn here, so.
So it looks like you're within your setbacks.
Yeah.
Was there something we needed to look at on the site plan?
I
that
I
missed?
just haven't finalized the total review on the site plan.
Okay.
Lot 152 Alpine Meadows, do you have Alpine, you haven't submitted these plans to the Alpine Homeowners Association yet?
We have, and
Yeah.
it's approved.
It's approved?
I have been in contact with, I believe Lisa and Levi.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so I think we got that approval late last week.
Yep.
And you're hoping to start when?
So obviously our dig date is very near. So we're hoping, obviously we do have a few issues. I think the only thing that would hold us back, at least far as digging and foundation, are those vents. Of course, we do the math, also get it on the plans. We can do that before we even do the foundation, but we'd like to dig this week before it's too late. That would. We've got lots set up here and, it's,
That's our hope.
yeah. I mean, we're willing.
By
to
digging, what do you mean by digging?
Excavating,
They wanna do the
excavating for
foundation.
the hole, so, and we, obviously we. with
So
it
your
being-
water and sewer connections wouldn't be done until
We-
next
We
spring, is
wouldn't do
that
that,
correct?
correct, so,
Okay, because the dig date is November 15th,
correct,
and it goes through April 15th, so I just wanted to make sure that
yep, and we're
we're
okay
all on
there.
the same page there.
So,
Okay.
and we have everything to lined up to make this happen as far as, getting the footings in immediately after we
So
dig,
who's gonna be
keeping
your
it all heated.
concrete guy?
So concrete guy is Jorgensen's Concrete.
Where's he
They're,
out of?
they are out of Idaho, I'm not sure which state. They're the ones who did the, yeah,
They're from Idaho, did you say?
yes,
Do they have a license?
they do,
Here in Alpine?
yep.
So any of your subcontractors will need to contact us to make sure, Mark's Dirt Work, out of Evanston,
What do you
and
think?
Morgan Election,
Yep,
they'll have to have Town of Alpine business license.
they have one already.
Okay.
Set of plans
I just
before we
haven't
can
been able to.
conduct-
Actually, I don't know that Morgan, does, but I know Mark's Dirt Work does.
There's not much I can
Okay,
do.
and I know High
However,
West,
Res check is
Jaden
on.
does.
Yep,
But the rest check is.
I don't know that
under-
Morgan will actually
Correct.
do our electrical. I think we'll stay
You don't
local with
believe,
the
you don't
electrical.
believe that
Okay.
R7 is more than what we
I
require?
think R7's gonna.
They're
get
typically my electrician, but
Right, so that
it's
means
tentative
that.
if they wanna drive out here, so.
They
Okay.
did a 5. We need seven.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they did a
Jaden will be
7
your
and then-
general, okay. And
Okay.
Jorgensen
Or
Concrete,
vice
okay.
versa. I think that I believe, aren't we in, Brett, aren't we in res check, aren't we in 7 here?
Zone 7, yes.
Zone 7.
Zone
Yeah.
5 is
7.
warmer.
Yeah.
It's colder as you go up.
Zone 5 is actually colder. It's 20 degrees colder.
So you did,
So I
the
did
res
the
check
res
for
check
zone 5?
For Zone 5
Okay.
mistakenly.
Okay,
No, because our surrounding area is zone 6. We are 7.
We're
like
7.
island of 7.
Yeah, this
We're
is.
the
se-
most,
We're colder.
we're the coldest.
I was
That's
just
the
looking
most
this up.
insulation you'll ever have.
I know, but right as I got this, I just was pulling it up. Zone 5 is colder than 7.
Right?
That's just what I was reading on the code, but
It's,
okay. So we really like to have everything on the plans. We'd really like to have that updated
course.
and fixed, you know, your overhang, your elevation, not your elevation, I'm sorry. But the vents for your crawl space, the vents for your attic, we'd really like to see that dictated properly on the plans and have a current up-to-date set of
the
plans.
issue
to put
with
on
the
it.
vents not being, there'll be a different steel tie out around those vents, and they're not on here.
Yeah,
So it is my recommendation
call.
that we would table this until you had these plans complete.
and updated with what they need to be. Snow load, PSI.
And a complete res check.
if I'm able to do that before the 15th,
Our meeting is on December 10th.
Yeah, well, our next meeting's on the 10th. So as long as we have it by December 10th, you guys are more than welcome to continue on.
but then we can't dig until April.
No.
No, you can dig,
No,
you just
can
can't
dig.
tie into
You can pour
sewer and
concrete,
water.
You can do whatever.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
just can't
You just
hook up
can't,
sewer and
yeah.
water.
That's
You
it.
Okay.
can't do anything in the town right away,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay?
Does
so,
that make
Yeah.
sense?
okay, so we're okay to get going, but you'd like to see at the
Nope.
next
No.
meeting?
You can't
You're not
get-
gonna get going at all. You're gonna redraw these plans.
Yes.
You're gonna present to us the new updated set of plans with the bigger overhangs.
Okay.
All the
With all of the things-
all the window callouts,
Okay.
all of those things. That entire checklist should be a 0
I
when
understand
we come
that,
back with these new set of
Yes,
plans.
so,
but my understanding was that we were not able to dig a foundation until April. Is that
no,
not true?
absolutely not.
Just for sewer
It-
and water?
No, it's just you can't tie into our city
Okay.
sewer and our
Yeah.
city water until
Gotcha.
after
You
that.
get to-
Okay,
I
I was
apologize.
misinformed.
You can
I
dig,
apologize.
you can
Yeah.
dig and pour concrete
Yeah.
all you want, just
Yeah.
make sure it's
Okay,
heated.
yes,
Yeah.
I
Do your
apologize.
things there,
I
yeah.
was misinformed. That-
Okay.
That makes a whole lot more sense.
Okay, perfect.
I feel
Yeah, so if
better
we
about
can,
that.
if we can get an updated set of
We can
plans
do
with
that.
all of these, addressed and fixed, then we can, come back, we'll table it until the next
Sounds
meeting in
good.
December, and then we can go forward from there, if that works.
Cool.
Okay,
If you can get it done before then come in and see me,
Okay,
because it'll make it easier on you, because that way I can have the inspector check these items off.
Sure. And
just
You know what I
double check.
mean?
Yep.
So,
cool. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Sorry for the miscommunication.
No, it's all good. I had my project manager reach out.
Jaden?
I'm Jaden.
No, jeez.
Oh, you're,
That's-
no, you're,
I'm Jaden.
I
had
think Libby
Chris.
knows who.
Reach
Okay.
out to,
okay,
yeah.
It happens.
He had told me, yeah. anyway.
okay.
No worries,
All
I
right,
totally
so we got
understand the miscommunication.
Cool.
So we'll just table this till
Okay.
December then.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank-
All right, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to table the Cerebru,
Cerebru.
lot number 52 Alpine Meadows, till December 10th.
I second said motion. So just as long as everything,
We'll talk soon.
thank you guys for coming in. This looks like an amazing house. Just as long as we get everything, addressed on the plans, then, yeah, we should be able to move forward from there. So I second. All in favor? Aye. Yeah, item is tabled
Would you
until.
like me to?
I'm sorry, boss.
Would you
Yes,
like me to
ma'am.
help you?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize. I didn't mean to step on your
Nope,
toes there,
no,
boss.
you're not.
All right, moving right along here. Creative Properties, Lot 12, Palisades Heights. Come on up, Mr. Jenkins. Mr.
Well, you want to make it bigger?
Hello, Mo, Dan, how are you?
Sir, doing pretty good. How are you,
Good.
sir?
We have a quorum tonight?
I'm sorry?
We have a quorum tonight?
We do?
All
We
right.
do, it's the two of
It's
us.
a,
Yep.
it's a small forum, but, you know, I think we're pretty good. We're not short timers.
So, we done a lot of this work before these rules are starting to change.
There's this other.
So, since we designed our whole property, we wanna get it in, you know.
When are you going to dump the plans to Christine and you pay your permit?
Let's pay.
Well, I don't know, I don't know if it's paid yet.
Which, what are we talking
I give
about?
you the money.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All the new rules that will be
So,
changing.
Mr. Jenkins
He's
has
been
submitted
on-
his
yeah,
plans,
he's been on the
submitted his applications, it's been date stamped, and
He's-
Mr. Jenkins has paid all of his fees.
So this is what you were working on.
One of them, yes, yeah.
Great. So fill us in, what are we
And a
doing?
couple things, just so you guys know, this lot, when I bought it, was a commercial lot, and it was not, compliant. So we rezoned it and made it, what's it
Well,
called?
it was non-conforming because the zoning happened after the apartment building was built. So it was zoned non-conforming, it was originally commercial, and we did a zoning map amendment to make it conforming and pursued this plan, which has 3 buildings total. One is under construction, you know of the apartments. And then to the northeast there, 3 live-work units built under the IRC as townhouses, fully sprinkled. And we can flip through if you want, but big picture, the live-work units and the site plan are critical to the whole thing functioning. And then the diagonal hatch there to the south is a future footprint, not part of this permit.
So the white building goes away at some point, and that gets, and we have some
gotcha.
schematic design, but we don't have a permit set for those or this point, but,
So right now, this is the permit set.
yes. But we're hoping that you're gonna permit us to build in that envelope for our planning.
Because sorry, go ahead.
We designed our whole thing based upon the current rules, and then now they're changing. And we need to make sure that we're not redesigning at this point, since we've already started this building.
Right.
What parts of this are you worried about?
Not that, we're not.
It's the parking drives everything. And so we, to build a commercial building, we need X amount of spaces to get a reasonable amount of square footage to make it viable.
Use 400 on each.
And so these are 2-story live-work units, and there's 3 of them. And we can dig a little deeper in a second, but the parking handles the apartments existing. The live-work units have garages, so we're showing 2 interior spaces and then 2 exterior spaces per live-work unit.
Correct.
The remainder of the parking is still to be used by everyone on the site. However, we need that to make this function. And then a future commercial permit would have the same site plan later down the road. But if we already have it approved as part of this master plan, we've been talking to you guys for a couple of years on this.
Oh, yeah.
And we've absorbed snow storage increase, which I think is fully justified, but I just don't think we can absorb a impervious surface setback.
Yeah, we have, oh, yeah, thank you.
And just so you, on the same hand, if it was commercial, the lots next to us are all commercials, they have 0 setbacks. Because this one's in the middle, it's an odd duck, it's MRC, so we have big setbacks, which messes up our parking. Just by trying to be compliant, improve the property, not have a junkyard in town. And it really is in the better good of the community, but.
So to give you guys a little bit of back history,
Yes, ma'am.
the existing building that he's working on, that he's done the reconstruction on. He removed, as you said, the old laundromat. And then
And garages.
he is, and the garages, and then he has updated all the interiors. He has not changed the footprint of the existing apartment complex. But in order to accommodate, and like Brett said, we've been working on this project for a while. That's why you see a little jig jog on that back 20-foot setback. So that way, those live-work units are compliant.
The new live work.
The new
Yes, they're fully
live-work
compliant.
units,
They're
the
new. Yeah,
existing,
for sure.
the existing building is obviously staying as is. It's just getting a little facelift, shall we say.
A little one?
Yeah, you wanna see
It
the,
was an expensive
one.
Did you see it before?
oh, man,
But yeah,
it was.
so I'm happy to flip through and walk through any detail if you want. But just so you guys know, I got some comments, life safety comments over the phone, and I addressed all the ones I've made aware of here, and you
Okay.
probably have the same
And
list.
is that the list
Yeah,
that
I
he
was
speaks
just
of?
gonna get you a list.
Was it smokes?
Yes, so, smoke detectors, tempered glazing. I moved the attic access to be in the higher portion of the trusses. You know, Rob picked up on that. You need 30 inches clear once you get up in there.
Yeah.
And then, just tempered glazing by the doors and the stairs, smoke detectors downstairs, that's on the electrical plan. And then, the last thing, as I reprinted the roof plan, because to avoid having the, parapet wall, or the separation walls in between we don't want it going above the roof deck, so we just need fire-treated plywood, 4 feet each side of the wall, so that's on here now. And then, structurally, there was a discrepancy on the shear wall plan and the foundation plan, but it was just, hold-down graphics, so I had that updated as well. So, that's all been done, unless
But
there's
that's
any.
on that plan, not.
That's
And
correct.
Christine has an emailed version, but
Well, I sent it to her an hour ago, but it's, it's done, is what I'm saying.
It's done, yeah.
So I was just trying to see the foundation. Oh, there they are.
and we're not gonna break ground until spring, just so you know.
Okay.
All we're trying
That's
to do
Rob's
is,
notes.
Here's the
beat
Thanks.
the, make sure we're on the clock for
Jig jog.
additional hold downs.
all the changes coming forth.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. What is this?
The hold-down notes, so, you haven't seen this one yet,
We
but,
haven't seen that.
but it's correct on the shear wall plan,
Correct.
but the hold-downs, Eric also shows on the, foundation plan. So you can see, for example, those two are shown there now, and then I think there was one missed back here.
Okay.
So we would
Oh, I see.
resubmit that formally, I just wanted to have it with us
I
tonight.
was just wondering what the stars were for right.
The stars were for my identification when the building inspector came in to discuss the items that needed to be, so I could
Okay.
logistically maneuver through.
Okay, that makes sense then. All right. So what else have we got here?
So,
This one, this one.
are we voting on the approval of the master plan? And the apartments?
No,
Well, it would be the site plan
Is that one? Yeah,
and
hold on.
the live-work units.
Correct, it
The
would.
apartments are already ship sailed.
No,
Yep, yep,
I,
yep, I hear you. They're
Live-work units.
townhouses, yes.
live work, so what you're looking at is these townhouses
This
and
goes
this
with this
master
one.
plan.
Yes,
That's
Yes.
the approval you're looking for now.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
Okay. What's the zone on this?
MRC.
Okay.
And he did specifically, like he mentioned, he did that to make those back
Correct.
apartment complexes
Compliant.
compliant with the zoning district.
so
I
we,
mean,
so
as
we
long as
designed
we-
everything according to what the rules were at the time.
At the time.
We've been planning for a couple of years now, so this is,
Well, I think that you have the fees in and you've submitted. I
Yeah.
think that you're underneath
Yeah, I
all the
think you're
changes
fine,
that are coming in.
as far as
so
I can understand,
don't
too.
think that that's even a concern for me.
Yeah, I agree. You guys have already had this in the works. It's already been in the books for a while, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're, as far as I know, as far as I understand, pending any unforeseen circumstances that we are not aware of, yeah.
traffic in and out. How's
So-
it gonna pan, because we're approving the master plan, I wanna know how,
Understood, yeah. So,
You want this highlighter? You
I'll
want
just
me
use
to,
a pointer.
let's get the,
So,
pink one.
out,
I don't have a,
yeah, the highway's out there right now, there's,
It's the
I
highway.
believe isn't it a shared access? It's all gravel right now. What do we have?
okay.
Barb's shop, right? Or the gun shop and then Barb's shop,
Correct.
right? Okay, that's all right here. You might be able to make it on the vicinity map, but, to answer your question, there's two-way coming in, two-way back to those spaces over there by your left elbow.
Correct.
But then to get out, you circulate one way out or turn around and go back this way. And so people can do this all day long, but
It's a normal
they
traffic.
just can't do that.
It's just
That makes
exactly
sense.
what we need.
You could come in like this,
Uh,
or is it just one, that's what
gonna
I'm
be
trying to
one
get to, is it
This-
one access here?
yes,
This is his
we're only
one.
allowed one access. YDOT would not let us add a
I
second
just
curb
didn't know
cut.
where it was
Oh.
gonna go, okay.
Well, we wanted one. It would have been better for this project, but they won't allow one within like, what is it, 330 feet or something? Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
yeah, that was a hard no from,
Need my pen
Actually,
back, sorry.
on the same property, the neighbor to the next, depending upon, he gets an access wherever he wants it.
True,
you know.
on a different
So-
property, yeah.
So it's gonna be, it could be less than 300 feet, it's
Yeah.
just on the same property.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And how big does it have to be? Just for curious.
Uh,
I'm just.
The curb cut itself?
Yeah, would it be
YDOT,
a lot?
well, it's
A lot?
existing, so we're not proposing to change at this point, but let's just
I'm
say
just curious.
about 30 feet or so. I mean, if you have a two-way, 24-foot
Okay.
lane, it flares out
Yeah, for sure.
on each side.
So it
But
doesn't, they don't have like a prerequisite, like if you're gonna cut in a curb.
They have standard highway details.
here?
Come again? Hydrant?
Good question.
It's a good question. It might be on
That should be on here.
Carl's, survey. I had him note existing utilities. And I just don't know if he picked up a hydrant, but, we would
Manhole,
add,
I think we would wanna see that.
I mean, we're sprinklering this building and, I don't know about that commercial building, if it's gonna be required to be sprinklered, but this one has to be to make it work. But we would put a hydrant, I mean, one hydrant for
I
the
mean,
site.
is this sprinkler?
Nope.
So you'd
The
have to
next
have-
one will be.
The new live work units are required to be permitted as they are. But,
I mean, those are, I mean, it's just, you know, you've had the benefit of seeing these for a while, I'm just catching up.
No, dude, you're fine. And it's changed a little bit since we last saw it, so you'll be fine. Yeah,
Um,
I think as long as we address, the,
the hydrant location.
well, and all the items that we have listed.
Well,
on the notes
and I
as
think
well.
that he's done it with that sheet.
Yeah, for
so-
sure, as long as, I was just making a statement,
yes.
as long as we have all that stuff addressed.
I mean, we're fine too, we just wanna make sure we're in, under the thing, and then we have until, we're not gonna dig until spring, so we're not gonna,
So you have glazing, doors,
Washer,
bathroom.
dryer, closet, attic access.
We changed, yeah,
Up
we
to
just
the
talked
top.
about that.
Engineering discrepancy, additional hold downs, but you got that fixed. And then we have a post-it.
Move up the roof pitch to gain proper head clearance. Oh, that's for the access.
Just for the attic access. So I just moved them to the south bedrooms where it's taller. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only piece that I can come up with. I mean, that's the only thing that I see here, that
Yeah.
it's not just, you know, we don't have one somewhere
Okay.
for
Yeah.
this.
I think it looks good.
Any comments?
you wanna see, this is kind of what,
Yes, ma'am. What you got?
this is kind of what we just did, like a 3D of what the commercial might look like.
Wow.
To give you guys some,
Yeah,
some vision. Well, so it's,
that looks
we
awesome.
are gonna put some nice,
See,
nice addition to town, so.
that's from the, what would it be,
This
west?
is existing apartments, right, this is this commercial, this is the work live,
That's the new ones back over in the back there, right?
this is the,
Yes, this is what we're talking about now. Yep, yep.
and so is this one, right?
And what's the overall height of it?
We're 31, 32. It's on the elevations, but
Okay,
it's under
perfect.
35.
Okay, perfect. Looks good, guys. I
I think
dig
it's
it.
gonna be a nice
yes,
addition
ma'am.
to Alpine.
So, Brett and I were talking.
Oh,
sit back and listen.
Yeah. On those live work units.
Yes.
Each one of those is gonna have a separate water connection and a separate water pit.
Yes, independently metered.
Independently metered. Now, I talked to Craig, because you and I talked. He basically stipulated that those water pits are gonna need to be out here and accessible. So, logistically figuring out
In the right of way?
how
or-
you're, yes,
Okay.
the water pits are to be on the town property.
I got nothing.
That proves.
Well, I mean-
This is that piece that I do not
I
believe.
think it's,
So what I.
engineering solution on that, and we will
And-
figure it
and
out.
And I basically did speak briefly to the town engineer, so when we kind of figure that out, determine how you want to logistically do that, I'll need that
Certainly.
utility. Well,
Especially there.
it's gonna be like right
Here's the
here,
man, it tells-
here's the edge, and it's gonna
How are
have to
you gonna
be
design that, Sarah?
right about,
No, I'm not changing the design, I'm just saying, isn't there a way to do some easements?
well, that's
to
what,
get to those meters? Where are the meters? I didn't see.
They're gonna,
They're up by
they
the
want,
units?
he
well,
wants them out
you
here.
kind of want,
Yeah, but they're designed.
but
where?
the units
Yeah,
are
those
back
the
here.
units we're
Can we put
talking
some
about.
easements along that side and just put them in the side there somewhere?
Well, but you could grant the driveway as an easement to the town or
Sure.
emergency vehicle.
Well, they're not in manholes.
No, they're not in
They're in-
manholes. They're
Yeah,
in
pits,
covers,
yeah.
but they can be in asphalt or gravel, I mean.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just a thought that the town might think about instead of, that's a lot of plumbing extra that may
If
not
it
be
freezes,
needed.
it freezes.
Oh,
I'm just the transporter
I
of the
understand.
Yeah.
And Brett could talk to the utilities guy, but I'm not so sure that couldn't, same
So
thing could be
it's-
accomplished with an easement. A
If-
utility easement for the.
Is it the utility? It's,
That makes
it's
sense.
Craig who needs to be able to get to them.
Right,
I like that
And,
idea.
and it has to be on town property so that.
well,
Doesn't have
you
to
know,
be
it does,
Oh, I'm just asking.
if we have an easement to get to it,
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
Think about a lot of the
I don't-
townhouse, developments, usually there is a statement in there that you're granting to the town of Alpine or Jackson or whoever you're granting it to, a utility easement so they can get to those things, and often we add emergency vehicles also, so that they have a right to, if somebody's having troubles, they have a right to go in there, I mean,
I mean, I
nobody's
totally,
gonna stop them, but.
I totally agree. I mean, the problem with these water pits is you don't wanna have them where you're driving the frost into.
yeah,
No,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
you'd want
it's
them in
like,
front of the units.
out here,
But
out here
that's-
doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah,
but that's the way the town's going.
Well, we're
They
changing,
want-
we're gonna change
Well, I
it with this
can-
easement thing, so.
Check with Craig, Kevin,
Yeah, why
talk to
don't you check?
Marlo, and just piece it together. I mean, we'll find a reasonable approach.
Yeah, for sure.
So just so you know,
It could,
these guys get their water from here.
Okay?
How does that line get from here to there? Who knows?
As
You're
the
gonna-
crow
you're gonna-
flies.
you're
I
no,
don't-
but that's the way,
You're gonna find out. I mean,
Yeah,
but it's over probably along the side.
I would
There's
hope it
not
would
a
be
lot of
down the
driving
side and up
happening.
that
where,
way.
where
but-
are these units getting their water from? Are you planning to tap it over here or coming over from one of the side?
well, that's gonna be a product of this conversation, so standard town water pit details, but location is to be determined. I think there's,
I think he's thinking more, maybe we should go
Yeah.
this
I like
way,
that.
but I would, but
Down
you know,
the property.
I like that.
that's a conversation.
That seems,
if we have to say now,
This country.
tentatively over there,
Exactly.
That's where I'd like to see it.
and then out of our snow storage area.
yeah,
Just do
I
a
think
5
so.
or 10 foot, whatever easement we need to put through there.
that would make sense.
For the pipe itself, yeah,
Yeah, that would make sense, for sure.
over to the pits.
I have such a tough time with this thing. So
Yeah,
I know.
well, you're gonna have a, what, 4-inch line or something to feed the
Oh,
fire
feed the
flows,
two.
and then
You
the,
have 3 units, so you have to have 3 lines there.
It's
Yeah.
probably
Yep.
more than 4 for fire flows. It's more
It
like
might be.
6.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you gotta have fire sprinkler system in there
But
too.
are you putting sprinklers in those units?
in the live work.
in these
Those
units
ones.
We
here.
don't know about future.
You probably get through with 3, probably.
We can,
That could be a smaller pipe. I was thinking fire hydrants, those are 6 minutes.
Well, it's not something we need to solve right now, for sure. That's just something we.
No.
I just wanted to mention
No,
that,
that's
because
a
you and
great
I
idea.
had kind of talked about
I'd
that.
rather,
Thank you for bringing that up now.
talk about it now than,
Yes, for sure, in
Yeah.
April, is
Yeah.
when you're ready to go. Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up, Miss Christine, we appreciate that.
Do you need?
Thank you, sir.
Well, do you need every piece of parking that you have here?
yes,
Probably so.
Every, to make it work, you have to have every parking space that you have.
yes.
I don't doubt that.
We wanted to maximize the commercial space.
Of course.
I mean, that's the only spot that I could think of, you know, if Craig gets a little upset, you end up giving up a parking space somewhere.
Well, sure, we could, push came to shove, we could absorb a space or so, but I know to make this work,
Correct.
it needs what we're showing.
Okay. That's a good call. Thank you, Christine.
All right,
Okay.
so
Yes, ma'am, Miss Christine, what do you got?
we have all of the checklist items are in for this. He's given you the plan.
No.
Well, I
We don't
haven't,
know you. She hasn't gone through them
I
yet. She
haven't
just got it at 5.
seen his list. I'd love to say that, yes, Brett's on it.
Yes, I walked through it with Rob over the phone. I didn't have the sheet in front of me at the time, but I updated everything we talked about here, and everything was, solvable life safety items that were simple notes on the drawings. There were no showstoppers or
Perfect.
significant impacts. That's all I can say.
And we're not starting until April.
So,
If we tabled this to the 10th, would,
As long as we're, yeah, we're fine.
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
got your,
Yeah, you're good. We
he's
got
got
you.
his money in, so
Yeah,
I'm confident that if we have these all completed.
yeah.
so would I be able to, print up your email
Or we can give
with
you
all
these.
of your items, take that paper, or are those all the same?
Those are his notes that we
No,
just
not,
gave him.
not those, the big one.
She meant the plans.
Yeah.
And then
These-
just give it to him and get his final okey dokey, and then talk with Craig and have a
Plan of attack.
better plan of attack for the utilities for December 10th.
I may be a little more anxious than Dave on this one because of our conversations about site. So it's your call.
Yeah,
But
it's
you're
not-
already in.
You're
Yeah,
already
you're in.
in,
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
it's a non-issue.
Yeah, that's a non.
Those are,
Yeah.
you're, you don't have to worry about it.
So
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good. We totally understand your concern, but as far as we know, as far as I know, yeah, you should be good.
So I'll make a motion to table lot number 12, Palisades Heights, townhomes. It'd be R2-05-24 till December 10th.
I have a motion, a second. Sorry, I'm a second. I apologize, folks. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you. Looks amazing, guys. Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
Do you just have one of those?
You can have it if you want.
Can I have it?
Yeah. This is not finalized.
Conceptual.
We're still working on some little tweaks, but this is a conceptual.
Okay. I'm just gonna put it with the other stuff.
you might as well hand this to Rob too.
Yes.
And
I
just,
will.
if he agrees, then I'll reprint.
She likes them this one.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. She took it away from me.
She likes them this one because she writes on the back page.
Here, I'm not touching that. She yelled at me last time.
Got a rubber band over there, young lady?
You guys be still? Right behind you, Louise Woods.
I don't.
Here's one.
Oh, wait.
There's one.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
You come prepared.
One
Or
small
he
one.
stole it from his stash. Yeah.
I was supposed to talk to him about something, but can I just call him?
Who's it? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm gonna have to call you about the utilities.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Maybe I'll set up a meeting. Would that work?
Meeting? It's gonna have as many meetings. Here you go, Kristen.
It's kind of a drive, but,
I know.
I mean, you don't have to drive far, do you?
no, it's Fraser Road.
If I have to.
Oh, jeez. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, moving right along here. Tabled items. Conrad Bischoff, Parkland. This is this young lady on the
Yes.
screen? Okay. Can she hear us or no?
She's still there?
Oh, she can, oh, you heard the whole thing? I'm so sorry.
Okay, who's got the Conrad Bischoff?
Yeah, I'm representing that project. Okay, give us 1 second. We're getting all the shenanigans pulled out here.
Well, we're getting the plan.
Well, we'll wait till we see them first and then we'll see. Okay,
You've
yes, we are
seen,
getting the
you've seen
plans.
these are
We
the,
have.
these are on the run.
Did we get all of the questions answered from the?
I do believe we did, but I think, Madeline's gonna go over a little bit of information.
For you, notes? Is this?
Thank you.
Do I need to get my notes out from the last meeting? Or do we remember everything?
I know that there was,
Do I need to get my notes out from the
yes,
last
please,
meeting?
yes, please.
Oh, sir, yes.
Madeline, do you wanna give them maybe a little brief history of what you're gonna be doing for this project?
Yes. So with this project, we are essentially, and usually I would share my screen. If you're familiar with the KJs at the Alpine Junction, 15 Boardwalk Drive, it really has the two entrances that are like red towers. We're essentially replacing that area of the facade where it's red into a yellow ACM panel. And then on that tower, there were like 3 lights. We're taking that off. We're adding new signage, and they are, I believe the term is like backlit, illuminated type signage. I forgot what those are called. Illuminated channel letters, so they're backlit. And there's going to be 3 signs where there used to be the KJ signs. The gray or the red soffit that goes all the way around the building. That's going to be replaced with gray. And we're also adding
Yes, ma'am.
to each side of the entrances. And that canopy is going to match the same canopies that are over all the windows
Okay.
of the building. I hope that gives a pretty good summary of what we're doing. It's just an exterior facade remodel.
Okay. And did we get the lumens? It looks like, we had some notes for the lumens on how bright the backlit and the whatnot was gonna be.
I did not get the notes.
Okay. Changing color.
And you know why we're asking that? Is
Yes.
because of the subdivision that's directly to your west is, you know, your lighting affects everything that they see. So that's why we're
Yeah.
trying to find out how brilliant the light is or how modified the light is.
Yes. Let me look.
And then we don't need to worry about, I have a note here for the changing of the color. It's not, we're not gonna worry about any of that, because she said she's gonna get rid of the white and change it to tan, was that right?
Yellow.
Yellow?
Yellow.
Oh, yellow, pardon me, I apologize, I looked right down the right color, sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Could I provide the illumination, the lumens, like tomorrow? Or does this have to be resolved at a next planning and zoning?
We definitely need to make sure we have the lumens on file, so we have them. I don't anticipate, as long as it's within what we're required, I don't have any problems with that.
I'm not gonna pass it unless we see that.
Unless you see the lumens? So if we can get the lumens, that'll be perfect.
What else?
That's all I have. Changing the color was one of our concerns that we had.
Is this something that the new
Architectural
architectural
committee
review
needs to
committee are
look
gonna
at.
look at colors?
Do we have an architectural committee set up yet?
The Architectural Review Committee doesn't have any guidelines at the current time,
Okay,
so
So there's probably not much they're gonna say about it.
okay.
probably not.
So yellow is the yellow.
Yeah, we definitely need to make sure we have the lumens so that they're within the code of what, the town is requesting. Yes, ma'am?
My question is, no higher than what it is.
No, ma'am. From what I understood, they're just gonna revamp the front of it. They're not gonna make it any higher. That's why we're requesting the
That's where we're
lumens. Yes,
asking.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have a gal who's out in the audience who is, lives in the residential area that we were just talking about, who's asking about the lumens and whatnot.
Okay, so we need an electrical sheet or some sort.
So, if I recall correctly, most of the time, if you contact your company that is providing you with your backlit lighting, and you ask them for your, the lumens, they will know exactly what we need, and they'll have a piece of paper that says exactly what all of the lights are, and how much they'll put out, and all that good jazz. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. I did not have that green piece of paper to know that that was part of this agenda, but it's okay though.
I apologize, ma'am. These are just my own personal notes that I took at the last meeting.
Or maybe
sorry.
2 meetings
Matt,
ago.
yeah,
It was 2
Madeline,
meetings
what
ago.
I can
Sorry,
do
you are
is
right.
I can put that green piece of paper together and then get it to you tomorrow. The sooner that you probably can get those lumens, probably the better off. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Could we potentially do the facade remodel without the new signage? Put that as a separate permit?
Without the lights.
Well, yeah,
I mean, yeah,
yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say that you have to do the lights to light up your building.
yeah.
There's nothing to say that. If you want to do that on a separate piece, on a separate, permit, I don't see an issue with that. However, to get lighting on that building, you gotta provide us some lumen specs for those backlit signs. So they don't
Yes.
look like the pumps. You know how bright the pumps are at the middle of the night?
Tell you what, though, if I was gonna get gas in the middle of the night, I would go there, because it's a much safer place to be, because it's well lit.
It is, but there's a lumen, there's a lumen issue with those also, but we're not dealing with those, so we just are worried about the lights.
So let's discuss this a little bit too. What if they continue on with just fixing their facade and everything and not doing anything with the lighting until we get the lumens? I would say they can continue on, that way they don't have to do a whole new
Well,
permit.
Yeah, they will. It's 2 different things. It is, they can start their permit now, they can start this reconstruction now, and then they're gonna have to apply for a sign permit
For the lumens?
for the lumens. Or they wait till the 10th of December and they bring us all of that, and away we go.
So did you get your 2 options, Madeline?
I think we would love it if we could have the sign part be separate for the future for December 10th
Okay,
to be on for that.
okay.
We are wanting to start construction ASAP for the facade. So to give you those lumens at a future date and not install those signs until we get the signage permit would be really beneficial to us.
Yeah, I think that works.
Works for me.
Thanks for thinking outside the box so we can try to help our guys.
That's what I do.
So if anybody's making a motion,
Yes, ma'am.
please have your motion
Well,
Clear and
not
concise.
to include any signage.
New signage, we'll take
New
down
signage,
whatever
yeah.
on our demo plan. So anything that's new will get that, the new signage will have those lumens listed on that permit.
Awesome, we appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am.
all right, so here we go. We're gonna make a motion. Okay. I move to approve the Conrad Bischoff Parkland USA KJ's On the Run RE-03-24, less lighting on the exterior of the building.
I second said motion. Any further discussion? Is that clear for you, Miss Christine?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so we'll get, just for clarification as well, we'll make sure and, get a permit for the lumen, or for the lighting, backlit lighting for our December 10th meeting. Right? Okay, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for hanging on for so long. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Am I good to go, or is there anything?
Oh,
I
no,
need
you have to
say?
hang out for the rest of the meeting. Sorry. No, of course you can go, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All the
Bye-bye.
fees have been paid, Kristen?
Thanks, Madeline. Yes.
All
All their fees have been paid.
Sorry.
Oh, she's here to steal the thing. Sorry, boss. Boss.
Okay, Karina's on there.
Oh, you can't take it.
So, you can't, I mean, Elliot's really just camping out over there.
We all do. Okay. Moving right along here. All right. Oh, wait, I should probably keep my notes for this one, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Pardon me. Okay, coming right along. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to include everybody instead of just see my sunshiny face.
You just want to see your sunshine.
You don't wanna see my sunshiny face. I'm not everybody's cup of sunshine these days. All right, what have we got? Did we get all of the,
Well, we're gonna find out.
the free Shannon again? What is it? Oh, actually, we're on Mr. Jade. I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at my wrong one. I apologize.
Okay.
How are you?
Good, how you guys doing?
So you're not quite up yet, sis. I'm
been a long
sorry.
day.
Okay. All right.
Architectural set 2. I'm not sure what I
Fire department building.
have. I have all sorts of stuff. And then there's another one there, Rachel. That's Elliot's.
Okay.
You know. That's Elliot's. Elliot. I'm not sure, that's another copy of the,
That's an old one.
architectural. This is the old one, structural, sorry. This is the old one?
Yeah, because you colored it. Anytime you color, it's,
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Seriously, sorry.
I misspoke.
It just depends on the day.
Okay. So did we get all of our,
These are the updated.
okay.
Those are?
This is, oh, this is not it. This is another one.
So there was a second set of structural that probably came in after the first round we've had probably for a month now. Rachel?
What's the date?
No. October 8th. 8/10. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, these were, I don't know.
thank you.
These ones you brought today.
Wow.
I did
Paying
not
some
bring them
attention.
today.
These ones you brought
These are
today.
today. The one piece I did bring today, when we went through the state fire marshal,
Oh, yes, did we get
approval
that all taken
process.
care of?
we did get approved. He asked for some corrections on the electrical sheets, so I
Oh.
brought 2 sets of the electrical. Basically like arc protection,
Another,
GFIs, some various code notes.
this is Elliot's. Oh,
Yeah, this is, it's getting harder.
here we go, here we go. This is what you asked for.
Correct.
This is a picture of her card. I don't know what, I'm not sure what, I think that means her plan review. Here is what I got from Rachel, from the state, and then these are the smaller versions of your electrical, is that correct?
Yeah, this is a full-size version of those electrical sheets.
Perfect. Okay. I had a really hard time printing off that card and that thing from the state, but I got what I needed
Okay.
approved.
Do you get a card? You get a special card?
Yeah, I should put that in my wallet, right?
Wow.
Says they know how.
I won't.
Is that specific to his project?
It is specific to the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
There's a portal where I.
It looks like a QR code, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
it's
that was
got-
interesting. That's the first time
It's
I've ever seen it.
quite the hoops.
We are moving up in the world.
Yes.
So were the arc faults on the on the panels? They want those, they want to label them on the panels? Is that what he was calling for?
He wanted notations to ensure that the electrical contractor would install arc fault protection in certain places like kitchen,
Correct.
et cetera.
Bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere near water, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
It's always been like that.
And there was like some clarification on the setup of the one-line diagram where we're coming in from the transformer and then splitting to the multi-pack meter.
Isn't that just standard?
No, I would say it's not standard.
For an electrical, I mean, you're coming out of the transformer, you're moving over, and so you have, in a commercial setting, you're gonna run, what, 3, 4 inch lines?
Yeah, I think it's is that calling for 3 or 2? I'd have to look.
It might be 2.
Yeah, 2 4-inchers.
And then they
They-
split off from there.
Yeah, it goes to the main meter bank,
Correct.
where there's gonna be 9 meters, 8 meters for each, meter for each unit, and then 1 house meter for the exterior lighting and for rain gutter thaw and just whatever needs to be done in the house, internet in the mech room.
And his concern on that was what? Because it wasn't labeled correct?
It's a little over my head because I'm not electrical.
No, but I
engineer,
follow it. I understand, I get
2
it.
Okay.
4-inch.
I'd have to look again at what we submitted the first time and what was corrected to this sheet. I know he had a conversation with Ryan, his
Our electrician.
electrician, about how he wanted it labeled.
Got it. I always thought it was pretty standard stuff. They throw new rules at us all the time. What happened with that? Was there ever a footer put underneath that one steel beam? I remember seeing,
yeah, that
I remember
was-
somebody
yeah.
sent me something, and I remember
Yeah.
looking at it, and there was a footer now that was underneath that.
There's not a footer, however, this stack she sent you includes like the load tables for those joists. That's an 80-page document. I printed out the one sheet that specifically looks at the 16 K9
Yeah,
that's spanning 24 feet, it's actually a little bit less than that, and the load it can carry. It's kind of expanded here for you. And this is the engineer.
that's not in this one?
Yeah.
It is, yeah,
It isn't
It
it?
is.
yeah.
That
with
just has
the
a
whole
whole lot more that you don't need.
Yeah, that's the whole book, and here we've just cut.
We killed a
That- that's-
couple trees.
Can we
hanging
take a
out
look at
back
that?
there. Yeah.
Let me,
Yeah.
can I say that?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to grab it for you, boss.
That's just her calcs.
The page before that, she just kind of has a couple sentences describing what we described, which is that the loft load is carried on to that joist below, so it doesn't result in a foundation column in that particular place.
And I guess, after I thought about it, when I went home, it was like, all of those beams are all the same size.
The joists,
all those joists.
So you're wondering why that one wasn't bigger? or-
Exactly. That's, for the simplest way of explaining it, that's it. Because anywhere else where we would see that type of, that beam would be bigger, and it would be called out that way. And
Yeah,
for
that's your
us,
point.
when we're doing stuff up there, we would never, ever, in a commercial setting, would you be given a set of plans that didn't have that called out and spelled out on the plans. You would never get that up there
Up where?
in Jackson.
Oh,
You wouldn't get it in Salt Lake, you wouldn't get it in Idaho Falls, you're not gonna get it in any big city, because they would say, that's wrong. It's gotta be on the set of plans. And that's where, when you, it's just, it's hard for me to fathom that that's not a sheet, and it's detailed and specified all the way throughout. Never seen that before in my life.
I don't know that I've seen where they put your load calculations on the drawings.
It's not the load calcs, it's the size of the beams.
Uh-huh,
It is the beam. What is the beam?
right.
We don't know what the beam is. I don't know what it is. There's nothing on your plans that denote what that beam is. There's not a drawing that says what it is.
Yeah,
It doesn't give me that.
Sheet, okay.
So for me to look at it like Rob looked at it, it's like something's missing there. Because if all of those beams are carrying the floor load all the way through and they're equal,
Right.
then one would say you have additional load coming on that beam. If all of those beams say, oh, they can carry up to, 1,000 pounds, and your floor is only carrying 300, okay, then there's a rationale for it. But I get it, why Rob called it out. And then I thought about it some more, and I was like, I've never seen a structural drawing on a set of plans that doesn't have the entire steel span laid out and what each size of those girders are.
So,
But
And
then,
when
I
you-
mean,
Just
the
a-
drawing says 16K9 steel joists at 3 equal spaces.
Sure.
It's calling out the framing.
Correct. So, where's the drawing, where's that girder set? Is there a detail for that
one-
girder?
That one is here, that one
Right.
that carries.
Is it
the
equal
load.
to all the other ones?
They're all
Yes.
the same.
They're all the same.
identical.
What I'm guessing is that, okay, so she's picking from a span chart where it goes 24 feet, and this is actually a little bit less, it's more like 23 and change. And what she did is probably picked the member that, instead of changing the members and making this one a little deeper and heavier, she just like picked a member that worked for every occasion. And that member like maxes out at the amount of weight that goes on there.
Sure.
but there's just not, it's not drawn out specifically on the plans and doesn't have, is that what the concern is?
She could have changed the design where she had these as like a slightly lighter joist, and the
Right.
one under there was that
It
one.
was a heavier duty one.
She
Was
just
that-
made them all heavy.
I understand. So when it comes to us, we're gonna ask those questions because it looks odd,
Yes.
Okay,
right? That's it.
And you didn't have the cut sheet on this joist. And
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't need the steel cut sheet
The
is what I
1/6K9 that you now have.
Correct.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
was the
perfect.
piece, this is like, okay.
yeah.
Who missed what? Now, like I said last time, structural engineers have set me back a long way.
Yep.
Because they do make mistakes.
Yeah.
I just don't want that to be a mistake.
I'm showing here too that we had the 2 windows on the inside of the breezeway. You don't have a call out. Did we get that resolved?
I think it was a header height.
We got that all
It was a header
resolved?
issue piece,
Okay.
and we talked about that last time, that
Yep. These are just the notes that I had. I was just gonna review
And I
them
think
real
that
quick.
we had
Pardon
the
me?
room to fit the header up inside, so
Yeah.
there was
Okay,
stuff that
okay,
could be done.
perfect. Steel drawings.
So
Window
if it's all
height.
in here, and it's all right here, Rachel,
Yep.
I'm good with it.
Spare load table, which is that? How much can I make? Okay. Yeah, I mean, those are my notes, my personal notes. Miss
And I think
Christine, was there anything
the
else?
biggest one was the state.
Yep,
so-
yep,
Yeah, and we got the state.
yep. Yeah, that was my first one I had listed on here. Still waiting for state review. Okay.
Christine, you got anything to add?
I think you already have all this, load path for the beam, blah, blah, blah,
I
blah.
don't
Page
have that.
S2-2, red notes, header schedule call out
Yep.
for
Oh, that was from last
page
time.
K4, or, no, K9, I don't know what this is, K4.
Are you reading your
On
own
sheet-
writing?
No, no.
Can I ask what the permit number is for this? Because it's not on.
Oh, what the permit number is?
His permit number is, I thought it was on there.
It's not.
R2 dash, I wanna say, Sarah, is it 04 or 05?
Oh, that's right, R204 dash,
R20524.
oh, 05, not 04?
R2-04-
Oh,
The state gave it a
Read.
number, but it's not the same number?
04,
Okay.
sorry.
04.
4's a better number than 5.
It's an 04-24.
It's an 04.
Yep,
Dash 2.
that is correct.
Okay, let me just double check, come up, couple
Yes,
other things
please,
there.
thank you.
Sheet A 102, B bed, C bed, and D bed. Are these 3 bedrooms going to have the same egress window as
Excuse me.
called out in the bed? I think we talked about that at the last meeting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
any other questions, concerns?
I'm gonna make a
Shall
motion.
I entertain a motion?
Yes, you will.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the Palisades Place R2-04-24 at 34 Wooden Spur Drive, multi-unit building complex to be approved for building permit.
I have a motion, I have a second. Oh, I'm sorry, I second said motion. Do we have any further discussion?
Not unless you do.
No, I think we're good. Are you good?
I'm a good.
Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Perfect, rock and roll.
See you later.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys.
playing.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. That was
Yeah.
gonna-
Talk to my engineers. from
Yeah.
now on.
No,
All right, so, hey, it's today's the 12th, right?
you told
Oh,
me
hey.
to line up the
There
subcontractor
you
for the 13th. They'll be there in
12 hours?
12 hours or 11 hours, and they'll be there at 8 in the morning.
Perfect.
We're going for it, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you
Thanks for
guys.
putting up with us.
Yes, we appreciate it. Thanks for all your due
You have-
diligence.
you have Craig's
That's what
number.
you have
We've
to
been
do.
talking.
Thanks.
Yes,
I knew that, okay. so
I got
just
him, yeah.
Touch base with him and there, and away you go.
We are, yeah.
Okay.
And the sewer line stuff's inside our property line, so we're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That
Did you
was
find it?
a concern.
We haven't found it yet. We haven't looked. We haven't looked. Haven't
Waiting
did,
for
Dan.
you. Now
But
we can go
now
with a shovel
we
and a
can
torch.
That
look.
was a good
Now.
answer.
We,
Oh, you don't need a torch
we
yet.
have not
Go
looked.
up there now, start scratching around.
You'll be
Good
good.
answer.
We have not looked.
All right.
Okay, well,
Leave
hold
these
on.
for you.
What do you wanna keep and what do you want
I
us to
want,
keep?
I want everything.
Okay,
Okay.
it's all yours.
And then I'll make the posting, I'll issue the permit, and then I'll get back the site copy to you. I just kind of want to put the package
I
together.
love it. Thank you,
That's
guys.
okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you
We'll
again.
need the luck.
You got it.
Be positive.
Yeah.
You got this.
See you guys.
All right.
All right,
You guys on these ones.
Yes.
now we are ready. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Thank you. And I need these.
Okay. Did we get everything resolved? What do we have?
In my mind, yeah.
In my mind? Okay, that's nice.
Ellie and I have gone over this, and there's his papers. right
Oh,
there.
yes, ma'am. Sorry, I don't know why I was reading my packet.
Well, no, this is the same thing.
Okay,
So,
So there's his structural stamp
perfect.
to do the loft over the garage.
Okay,
And it's got the engineering stamp from the engineers. It doesn't have,
Wood
this
structure, yeah.
qualifies.
perfect code. Smoke detector, we got that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did not talk about smoke detector yet.
Oh.
I got one in the study. I've got one planned outside the
study,
master
yeah, that's-
bedroom.
Okay,
Code says in the immediate vicinity. It's a little subjective. I think I'm 9 feet away. I'd rather not have 2 smoke detectors 9 feet away in the same room, but I can if I need to. Definitely adding one in the study, hoping that I can have one that serves study and master.
So I'm not an electrician.
I can't.
It has to be. Is that what the code says?
Yeah, they changed it. It's, I'll look it up. It's 314.3.
Yeah,
And code says immediate vicinity.
so they took away the
They
dimension.
took away the dimension, just to make it a little
You
complicated.
can have that.
Actually, it helps.
Yeah.
Because
It makes it so you can
in
use logic.
vaulted spaces, I could see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
there's one.
So I've got one. Can I use this to point?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I've got one. Well, I'm so turned around looking it upside down.
Here, do you wanna
I've
use a
got one
red
right
pen?
there.
Yes, yes, he does.
Oh, good Lord, don't do that.
Hi, Karina, it's Christine. Hi, I gave all this paperwork to Dan, but I guess something might have happened in translation, and he didn't, I think he thought they were the same plans. And so Elliot came in early today, so that was great, and to go ahead and, help me navigate through this. So, take it away.
Perfect, thank you.
I've
Perfect.
got one for my master bedroom right here, more than 3 feet from my bathroom entrance. I've got one right here for the study. I've got one right here, directly outside the master bedroom. I'm hoping we can say that that is also the immediate vicinity of that and not add a fourth one.
Oh, I don't know
On
how
the same
that
ceiling.
works with, the code. Y'all are
Well,
on your own with
so-
And I actually
so-
also have one at the
Is
ridge.
this a door?
It is.
Okay, so
I could also move this
You
one to
c-
be centered between the two.
you could, well, they're gonna make you move this one to here.
Don't you
And-
want one inside the sleeping unit
No,
and
well,
outside?
yeah, it has to be either out or in, but if you put that there, you can eliminate that one.
That's a study.
But, it's every room, like, is it a bedroom?
It-
It can be a bedroom,
It could be.
right? So
That's why I think that's why
so-
they changed the code. It
So
doesn't
you
say
look
bedroom
at it
anymore, it
that
says
way, you
sleeping.
look at all your
Oh.
boxes and say, this could be a bedroom, that could be a bedroom,
Yeah.
Good, the dining room.
right? That's how you gotta look at it.
Just saying.
So,
I mean,
smoke
family
detectors
reunions,
are
I've
cheap.
smoked in other
Yeah.
places.
so isn't the wire.
Yeah.
But when you get to that inspection spot and the inspector's going, you need a new one,
Yeah.
or you need one,
Yep.
better safe than sorry. So,
So we'll do 4 of them.
I would,
Okay. We're gonna add another one right there then.
there you go.
Okay. What else we got? Where's my notes?
Okay, so,
And
Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry.
he might actually let you
Split the difference, do one in the
split the
middle.
difference, because it's,
Be 4 feet away on each. I
It's-
mean, that's what I've got going over here.
Exactly.
I've got one in each bedroom and then
Exactly.
one in the hallway
I
between.
would do the same thing right there,
Okay.
and then you're covered.
So we'll get rid of that one, get rid of that one, do a shared one in the middle.
Which one? This one? Hey, God,
this is mine.
Those are mine.
Here,
all right, kids. No
No,
fighting.
no, that was my sheet.
No, that is his sheet.
no. Who's
See,
writing
those
this?
are her notes.
Okay.
A little scrappy over there.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just gonna do what I'm told.
You Lyle swear to it. Okay. So what's next?
We'll
Okay.
go down the list.
So we went down the list.
Yep.
Take it away, Mr. Scow.
Shift the wall behind the master toilet 6 inches into the master closet. That wasn't anything.
Non-structural.
And that is 2 by 6,
Correct.
right?
Only because it has plumbing in it.
And then there, well, I have to go to those.
Here, you can look at my page.
I
if
need the
you
yellow, I
really-
need the green one.
Okay.
This. Yeah. I don't think anything else. Everything is vaulted, do you have trusses here?
I have trusses on this side and the garage, so I have 3
And
different
there's your
trusses.
opening to
I
get
have
in
one
right there,
I have
and one right there.
and one
Sweet.
right there.
Okay, good. All right. Crawl space, vents, you didn't have any issues with
It's a
those?
mechanically ventilated crawl space.
Okay.
And we got,
Like
we
one
got all the
floors.
information for the fireplace from last time?
Yeah,
I
Christine's
just
got
printed that off.
Okay.
She sent it.
Perfect,
Somehow
okay.
it got lost in translation and.
We trust-
And we resent it and I pulled it up and, hopefully it's sitting on the printer.
We trust that you got that and we're all good to go?
We got it. I
Okay.
know for sure.
All right,
All right.
moving forward.
So all the permits and everything have been paid?
Yep.
All right.
This is a permit amendment. They're,
Just changing
So-
some
on their
stuff.
They're
existing.
changing some things.
They're just
All
changing
right.
up some. But
Extra
Elliot,
change
I
orders.
did go over this, and that's why you have that lovely colored sheet right there.
It was wonderful, it's beautiful.
He
did a great job.
Exactly. He walked me through. I told him that he's probably gonna have to.
Watercolor
might-
is in your future.
You never know.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the R1-01-23 permit amendment to lot number 11, Grays River Valley, 337 East Mill Road.
I'll second said motion. Any further discussion?
Unless you do.
No, Miss Christine, are
Christine?
you good?
I'm good.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Rock and roll.
See
That
ya.
was easy. Thanks for playing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so do you want me, what kind of documentation are you gonna want from me, Elliot or Karina?
Well, I don't know. This is my first time in Alpine. What
Okay,
kind of
so
documentation
what
is
I-
Dan gonna ask
what
me?
What I'm gonna, what
Other
I'm
Dan.
gonna do
Dan.
is,
Inspector Dan.
Inspector Dad, yeah.
I'll reissue the original permit, and then I'll make a notation on there that permit amendments have been, approved as of today's date. Will that suffice with everybody?
I think so, yeah.
If it suffices with Dan, it suffices with me.
Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect.
Rock and
Yeah,
roll.
Elliot's gonna call him at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh, everyone's so lucky.
Perfect. Thank you. We appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming in. Thanks
Yeah,
for walking me
absolutely.
through that. And I think we're good to go.
Okay. You may take your
Good.
laptop
Thank
now.
you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
night.
Appreciate your diligence and sorry it's so late.
That's
Which
all
way you
right.
going?
Got it got it done.
You coming up
Yeah,
here?
'cause she's in
I don't-
DC.
Which one do you want to talk about?
I'm at the end.
Oh, you're at the
What,
end?
your public comment?
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh, man, you're gonna be,
Okay.
oh, you're gonna be waiting so long, Marlon.
I'm two more ahead of that, sorry.
All right. Well, let's get through these first few things, and then,
Okay, what do we got here? Annexation moratorium.
yeah.
What do we
Are
got
you
going?
for the LOI or are you for Alpine Lakes? Marla?
Alpine Lakes.
Okay.
I'm just here to answer questions.
Okay.
I don't know what LOI is, so
Oh,
hopefully you do.
I do.
ACS.
I do.
It's a lot of acronyms, buddy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's too many for me.
my lovely assistant's, photocopy for you.
All right, so we did print out a new, we printed out a new recommendation from the planning and zoning for the adoption of a moratorium resolution for annexation. It's not an emergency. It gives us time to get the land use development codes passed, and it gets us a jump into the master plan, but solely for the land use development codes to be updated.
Did they, I just realized last time, been reading through all of those, oh gosh, those things, those.
Minutes?
No, gosh, no, all of the folks that have been submitted all their plans for, doing our master plan
Yeah, that's for the impact fees and for the master plan.
and for the
The
master.
RFP.
The RFPs.
So I just saw that there was a meeting, I guess on Wednesday after.
Yeah.
And I totally did not see that, I apologize, I was still studying and reading.
So they tabled both pieces to the next so they can have Zoom call or people private coming here.
Okay, so would that be for, do they table it until next month, next week's meeting?
I think it's for the next.
I think it's for the
December?
workshop,
Oh.
December workshop.
Okay,
I can get that information to you.
okay, yeah, cause I know we're supposed to, they wanted us to give them our opinion on this, I'm still also
Yeah,
going through that.
yeah.
Oh, lovely mess, okay. So we don't know if we've gotten any step closer for the,
No, I did stand up at the meeting and basically told them they, at the first portion of it, they were talking about the impact fees. So I immediately stood up after they had they went around their table, talked a little bit. I said, listen, planning and zoning, you gave us to review this. I ended up calling all three and having good discussions with them. Actually had great discussions with Reftilis because he understood the finance piece, and he also broke down where we are missing on what we are not charging on any of our fees.
Okay.
And so the other ones, well, yeah, we can look at that, or we can take a peek at that, but he was very clear and upfront about the things that we were missing and what needed to be done to move forward. And when we got to talking about that, I was very impressed. I wrote out a little email. I gave it to Christine. She gave it to the mayor. Mayor put it to everybody. But then that's the discussion that came up. It was
Okay.
really about the financing of the land use, not
Master plan.
not the master
Oh.
plan, but the impact fees, and how we were gonna do all that all the way throughout. And we just left it there. Jorgensen Engineering has been working with them.
Okay.
I've done jobs they were affiliated with, so that was my recommendation, not to shine anybody else off anybody else, but I was like, clearly, we're gonna have to look at a very bigger picture. And so, that was that. They went through the same thing with the master plan. They all picked out their pieces. There were a few people that followed the same as other people. And they wanted to have each of those people have a meeting, either come here and or Zoom, and they can ask them questions, and so they can get a feel for working with them. There was initially, the amount of dollars spent was important. However, it was looking outside the box. There was some of that discussion, checking, finding out. It was not the same Alpine as usual. There was discussion really that led to, and I'm paraphrasing, it was just, it's something new. What's our statement?
At least it was an open dialogue, for sure.
That's it. So
That
they
sounds-
want to have open dialogue with the three people that they had picked.
That makes sense.
And I can't remember who all three of them were, but
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Pat.
Well, for the master plan, the three that they're going to, bring in are Harmony, Avenue, and Cushing Tessel.
Correct.
And for the, impact fees, they picked two of the three, and it was Tellus and Sunrise.
Oh, well, that was the only two that.
Who was the other one? Harmony, Cushing, and?
Tesla?
Avenue? Avenue, that's it. Thank you.
And I did not do anything with the master plan. I thought, once they pick somebody, we could sit with them and then kind of give us, it really, I think they picked a one that I thought was gonna be a pretty good one, but I didn't make any recommendations out of the planning and zoning for that.
Okay, so to double back on the moratorium resolution.
Well, and that's why I was still on that. I was just trying to figure out where we landed on the master plan. Because that's one of the big concerns about putting this on the table, or not, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that, I apologize, for, having the moratorium was so that we had some sort of a master plan. But, there's not anybody else who's pushing to get annexed in right now. Everybody else has already been on the books to be annexed, so it doesn't do us anybody good to do
No, but
Moratorium.
it does have everything to do with that one.
which one are you talking about?
That one's already in.
Yeah, that one's already in. That's second, third reading, I don't remember where it's at, second reading.
Which one is that one?
Alpine Lakes,
Alpine Lakes?
yeah, they're already,
It's-
it's already in
It
the.
was
in the
tabled
works,
on
yeah.
third reading.
Water.
Yeah,
They don't have the water.
yeah,
They don't have the water.
we
They
just
don't have
don't,
any engineering on hooking up that mega well. If they did that today and started digging tomorrow, they don't have the water to supply.
What report is that in?
Jorgensen put that together. They basically
But
told
they,
them that they're
no,
maxing.
they
in
did
the
not
s-
include the mega well, is what I understood.
Correct.
on
They couldn't
Jorgensen.
because it's not hooked up to the system.
Correct, it's not hooked up to the rest of the Alpine system.
Correct.
That's correct.
And so,
So
whatever
that
happens,
entity is going to be on the mega well. That
I'm just-
entity- I'm just saying, that entity is, it would be currently on
Correct.
the mega well, so
Correct.
depending on those numbers, I don't have any.
So what you're saying is there's a lack of connection to the system,
We wouldn't be
so
able
we
to
don't really
provide-
know.
we wouldn't-
Be able
and
to
right now
provide
in the
the water.
summertime, we're already at where we are now, we're maxed out for what we have.
But adding the mega well in, which they haven't done in their calculations, if it supplies the water that we understand that it has, I would guess that there's plenty.
Sure. So which
I
one
understood
comes
that
first,
correctly,
the
yeah.
well or the annexation?
You already have the well.
Sure. How does it, so we don't have it hooked up to the system.
We don't have the mega well.
So the mega, so when is that gonna take place and what's the engineering for it? What's the cost? And they just label it at 800 grand. So knowing this town, 800 grand means 2.3 million. Right?
I'm not gonna disagree.
So.
Things go up.
So which one comes first? Do you get the mega well so everybody has water and then you annex? Or do you annex first and then hope you can get the water? Because it seems like there's a lot of hope and prayer here.
And
We've
so
all-
would be the concern that
think-
if the
and
annexation
that's in your
is
other
passed,
study
would it be,
going on,
the
right?
concern would be that we wouldn't be able to provide them with what the town is required to provide them with, correct?
Correct, so right now, we've will served 92% of the sewer plant.
Right, and that's if everybody builds out yesterday.
That includes this particular development?
No.
Yeah, it does.
No,
I thought it did.
Because of the agreement they have, I would assume that's
no,
included.
because it doesn't have density model in it.
No, but they have,
Jorgensen didn't, Jorgensen never used it. They never did it. They never used.
so their
this.
We
largest,
might have to double
their
check
largest
that.
commitment that I understand is the Alpine Lakes area with credits, sewer and water. And all I'm saying is.
I'm getting bits and pieces here, so I'm just learning as I go here.
I've probably got bits and pieces too, Dan, but, so what I'm saying out of that is, my understanding is that, what was I gonna say? That it's my bedtime? No.
I think it's all our bedtimes.
Soon. It's gonna be soon.
Well, and.
With the commitments that the town has already made with this particular development through credits, I am assuming, and I thought I understood from Jorgensen, that they were looking as that as part of their commitments.
I thought so too. I could, we
And
might have
that's
to
all
just
I
double
was trying to
check.
say,
Yeah.
excuse me.
So when
And if that's not included in the 92%, I guess I'm surprised as to why, because that's
Yeah.
as committed as
Because
anything.
it was, I think, in the discussion wrapped around, what did they get, like 118 credits?
I have no number
I'm
on
just
that.
saying, but if they go to a density model of 300 and some, that pushes that number.
As far as I know, the density is nowhere near the credits,
Sure. But, I mean.
from my understanding.
I don't even
We'll
know
have to
what
do
the
some
credits
checking.
are.
I mean, the density of the current master plan approved by the county, I don't think exhausts all the credits.
So where do they go after that?
That's the legal agreement, I don't know.
I don't, and that's where I.
As far as I mean, I've heard from, I think, the mayor, is that that it stays with that property.
What would,
Yeah, and then it's gone, I guess. There's some, I mean, in that amended agreement, there are some term limits, I'll call them, timing, that things have to be completed by
Yeah.
before they expire. That's the right
November.
word. Yeah, so,
20-something.
one was 18 years and another one was 10 in that.
Yeah, but they amended it they amended it in twenty-two and they moved that date line. One was 2 years in the amendment. And it doesn't matter. It's legal. I mean, I'm more worried about, I'm more
So-
worried about present day
And
Alpine.
I don't disagree, I guess our discussion on that, and are you still
We're
talking
talking
about
about the
annexation?
No, 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 I
We're
mean, we-
talking about the moratorium right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we were,
alright.
we were
We're just
talking
talking about the
moratorium, but then
moratorium.
it
You-
moved.
You
Yeah, we
jumped,
got
moved
sidetracked.
over.
jumped on me
Moved
here,
over
so-
to you.
Yeah, so I was just wondering that even if we continue with this moratorium, do we have any other annexations coming up?
The only other one I know of, and I think it's in the pipeline, is Snake River Junction area. Is that correct? That's another one we've worked with.
already serviced by the town of
Correct.
Alpine.
Yeah, so it
Well,
didn't-
most of it.
So, yeah, water and sewer.
There's probably some
There's
areas
a couple of lots.
that, yeah, like on the Flying Saddle subdivision, I don't think they have hookups yet, but it goes right past the front of them.
So, I mean, even if we
The
want
motel
to
is
push through,
serviced.
if we want to push through with this moratorium, I mean, it's like
I mean-
cart after the horse, closing the barn door after the horse got out, so to speak.
So they haven't passed it yet.
What's
Right.
that? This?
Neither
No, we have to submit
Neither
it.
annexa,
Send
No,
it
no,
to the
no,
town.
not, no.
neither annexation
No.
has been approved.
They
So
haven't been.
it hasn't been approved.
No, but it is on the second reading, if I
Right,
recall.
it's on the second reading.
Alpine-
They can table it and table it and table it and.
Alpine Lakes is on the second, is on a third reading. It's been
Is a
approved for
third
two. It was tabled to the last meeting and will be up at the November one. Snake River is just getting started. Just give you the time frame that I'm aware of.
I mean, listen,
I don't think it's a bad idea if we do have another annexation, but it sounds like they're already in the will serve area, that we already have everything. Did we include that in with the, calculation that Jorgensen gave us?
well,
We don't know.
I'm not the expert here.
No, I didn't say you were.
I'm, it would, it's one of those kind of things where we need Jorgensen Engineering to be sitting here telling us all this stuff, but when they told me, when I heard 92%, we basically will serve 92%. I don't know any town that lets us go past 80% before they've set up a fiscal plan to start expanding, so we're well on our way. We watched Alpine grow from 21 to 22, or 20 to 21. It boomed.
Yeah.
If we get another one of those, it turns your 15-year timeline to 7. And then you're in the crunch. Then you have to do something. Now we're not talking about $2 million, we're talking about $20 million.
So do we want to, let's get back on track with this, and, with this, recommendation. Do
But
we wanna-
thanks for being here, because
Yes.
this is
Yeah, oh, yeah,
important
he's-
dialogue, because we
He's-
need
He's
this.
on, yeah, he's on the.
need
So
you.
do we want
I'll
to,
provide any information I have. That's why I'm here.
do we want to
From
go
a
ahead and
historical
submit this
context.
to the, for the historical documents, sorry.
The Historical
Context.
Society, I like that.
Historical documents.
context.
So we just need to figure out if we want to send this up to the town council, is that correct?
That is
All right.
correct.
So
what do
your
you-
concern on moratorium, if I could just clarify, and I haven't read this, but I just heard it, is that you're in the process of doing a master plan, right? Which you have proposals on, but that's gonna take, what are they proposing, a year? Have they proposed anything
That goes
for
with that
timing?
same paper.
So it's just, it was 6 months, just so we could at least start
Get a handle on it.
handle on it.
And so your concern is that you don't really have an updated master plan from, what was the last one,
2006.
20, I was thinking 2000, I was gonna say 2000, I was saying 2020, but I meant 2000.
You need to go to bed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No.
and that, and the fact that if anybody else wants to be annexed in, that if they're not already on the books, then our concern is that as a town, we would be required to provide them for sewer and water, and we don't know if that's something we can handle yet. So that is one of the reasons, the main reason for the moratorium was just for that reason, if I understood
Yeah,
correctly.
And I don't think those numbers will be, I think Jorgensen said that they would have them by midsummer of 2025.
Next year.
So,
I think Sunrise is doing that study, actually.
what's that?
The town
Sunrise.
hired Sunrise, I think, to do the study you're talking
Oh,
about,
I
just on
thought-
the water. Not,
Oh.
Just the yeah, the
Oh,
water
just the
side.
water.
they're doing the
Yeah.
water,
They're
went
doing the
through
water.
Western, or Wyoming to
But-
water
yeah,
development,
But it
right?
was
You're
Jorgensen
talking
was dealing with
sewer.
the sewer. And that was where the complexity came in for me. It was just like, okay, you guys are well beyond your means of having no plan. You gotta come up with a plan.
Okay.
But this summer, it was very evident that we had maxed the wells that we had.
Oh,
So do we-
did you
can
have
we-
troubles here? I didn't hear.
Can we, we would need to make a motion to send this to
So
the
I guess the
town
question
council?
is, do you guys think that this is a good idea, or do you think it's a bad idea?
I think it's a
I
good
think it's
Do you
idea.
wanna move forward?
Yes, that's what I'm
and,
trying.
roll the dice and see what town council has to say?
You know what? It's
I
a
mean-
suggestion and they can do with what they may.
Sure.
I
But,
think-
I
I
mean,
agree.
we voted this in the last meeting.
Yes, she just wants to make sure we're good with it
I'm good.
and then we can
No,
move it forward, right?
We
You want a motion?
didn't, yes.
Yes, that's what she
We
needs.
didn't vote it in last meeting.
We talked about it.
We did something in September, but it was under an emergency.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then we had that special meeting,
Okay.
and then,
So I make a
Yeah.
motion that we,
yeah,
send this recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Committee to the adoption of a moratorium resolution to the town council.
I'll second said motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So is this on just annexations or all construction or?
Just
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 annexations.
annexation.
Last time, there was a little hoopla about the word emergency, so we took that part out. And now it's not an emergency anymore, it's just, hey, we really need to think about that, and that's our department to think about this stuff. And
Okay.
it seems
What are
like
you pointing to?
there was a lot of lack of
Oh,
that.
no. Miss Christine, who would like
So
to
that is
address?
a copy, that's a copy for you, and,
what?
that is,
Of the moratorium.
what we're gonna, recommend to the town council. It
The papers we
removes
gave you.
the building
Oh, did you give
I
papers to
read
Dan?
permits and
Yeah.
stuff like that
Do you wanna sign
from there, just so you,
I know.
just so you know.
Um,
And then they'll
Say
get
that again.
There you go.
Is this-
These ones.
We've removed the.
She's talking about
building
this.
Moratorium on there.
Oh, okay, we're talking, not this.
Not that
document.
one. We're talking about the moratorium that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about this one that you.
Can
Can you hand him that other piece of paper right there?
This is the
on top here?
resolution,
That's
okay.
the resolution,
Nope.
and it basically was
There you go.
rewritten to remove
There you go.
emergency
That was your copy.
and
That was my
building
That was your copy.
permit
You
moratorium.
give him my cup?
I am giving him your copy.
Okay.
I
I'm
can
gonna
get
put
a
mine in
different
my-
copy if you'd like to keep this.
Tell me
then.
what to do.
I swear.
All right.
Do not
Okay,
get
but I
beat in the
think he's here to talk about something else, maybe we should.
No,
What are you here to talk about there, Ms. Marlowe?
Alpine Lakes.
So I was here just to, I mean, Christine was doing some research to understand, let's see, let me go back. A couple of meetings ago at the town council sent a request to this body, as I remember, saying,
Oh, yeah.
does the zone, if we, in the annexation agreement, it talks about, being annexed with the county master plan in effect.
So.
And the town said, well, hold it, does it even fit our zone? That's the question I remember.
Yes.
And we were requesting mostly an MR, or MCR.
Yes.
MRC.
MRC.
So this is the
Every
county's.
town has it differently, excuse me, MRC.
Yes, sir.
And an R1 for the single-family residences. And
Yes.
so, with Christine doing some background on when the master plan was done and doing some research on that, I just came tonight, if you were discussing that and had any questions from a historical, how the county got to where we are today.
So
I can answer those.
this
And
is,
hopefully answer anything else you might have.
So here's my 2 cents on the whole thing. If they annex into the town, that's null and void.
yeah.
It'll be here.
Okay?
And to be honest with you, a majority of this master plan that I've gotten from the comprehensive plan from, that Ms. Christine has gotten for me is very informative. It's very, very informative.
What is this?
But it
document?
has,
This is the.
this is the Lincoln
Oh,
County
okay.
Master Plan. it's very informative, but it has crap all to do about building.
Well, but a master plan is not, oh, they have no building specs in the county, but
Yeah.
the master plan is not a building specs.
Right.
It would have to, all the building specs would have to come under you if we're.
Right, understand.
Correct.
So I just didn't know
The
how,
master plan is really density and the number of units.
right, and I just didn't know how, the Alpine Lakes, and I'm still reading through this.
This is the part about the Alpine Lakes piece, and we should have this discussion right now. The resolution
what we
is
were doing.
really not about anything else. It gives them time to pass our resolutions for
That's
our
this one.
land use development code. Yeah, if they
That's
get
this one.
this, it lets them work through, they've done one reading of the updated land use development code. We need 2 more readings. Part of that piece is if you're coming in as a subdivision, you gotta bring us the full set of plans. Everything's gotta be there. No guesswork, no nothing. If you don't come to us with the major league roles, go back until you get it done. That's what was missing in our land use development codes. People come here and they go, yeah, I wanna kinda think about this, I wanna think about that. No.
No,
You either have a traffic study, you have your sewer, you have your water, your wastewater, you have it all laid out for us.
And,
That's typically during a preliminary plat phase.
Right.
Is my experience, right?
Okay.
But I mean,
Yes,
we're
sir.
moving into that
So the
spot.
master plan, depending on what type of master plan you look at, it's not always, sometimes it's
Correct.
what I call a concept master plan, which is what the county was approving,
That's what we have here too.
okay?
I mean, it's really, since '06, if you read that, have you read our master plan from '06? It's pretty.
Not lately.
It's pretty vague of anything. So,
So you're talking about the town master plan?
Correct.
Okay.
so if we, as planning and zoning, if we get that one piece, it makes our life really easy, it makes the town's life really easy. Because then we're gonna know density models, we're gonna know what you're gonna build. There isn't any of this, well, we're kinda doing this and we're kinda thinking about that.
right,
You bring it.
so initially.
Well, there was a lot more approved in the county on this particular master plan.
But
than
it's
what you
not
said.
up to what we're asking for now, we're asking for much more. And that's in the new land use development code recommendation.
Which I would assume would come through the preliminary plat phase.
I would assume, I'm not for sure. I'll have to, I'm not for sure. I'm sorry. I
Christine?
can't give you a solid answer on that.
I mean, that's what the preliminary plat is all about, is to bring all the
Just-
detail that
Well,
you're talking about.
Sure.
But-
Where's the sewer, where's the water, how does it all work, what's the traffic?
That's the
Right.
part of this annexation agreement, it doesn't take in consideration all of these other pieces. It only has, you're gonna pay for X. Well, you know what, it needs to be full
We need to have a
depth.
little bit more ideas on what's.
And
going
so when we started reading that, okay, they can let the town council do that. We'll recommend these changes in our land use development code. And then when it get annexed in, they're coming for us. Now they gotta produce.
Correct.
Well, and
What are the new land use development codes? I don't know that I've seen that document.
To go ahead and implement that annexation ordinance. So they'd have that annexation ordinance in place as to where they have different mechanisms to go ahead and do like the PUD and go through the annexation petition, application, public hearing process. So they've changed that and now we're working.
I understand, you
on-
have a new ordinance on that, is that what you're saying? Yes.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
on the land use development code, I can get that stuff to you. One of the major ones that we are looking at is any properties. When I say R2 and above, I mean mixed residential, commercial, that type of stuff, to have a civil site plan initiated by the project engineer. That's one of the big items.
What do you mean by a civil site?
Go ahead, take it away.
Civil
I mean,
drawings.
it's all of that. It's all
It's all of
wastewater, sewer, water, roads,
Okay,
power.
all right, I
You
understand
know,
what
it's
you're
like a full set of documents.
But typically, where we hit that in this town under your current LURs, is a preliminary plat requires, if it's a certain number of lots, not a simple, minors and majors, you have to do what's called a master plan report that looks at all the things that you're asking for.
Yeah, but we changed that.
So what we're doing is we're proposing, so
Where,
we'll
when
use,
have you
we'll
changed?
use
Is
this.
it already changed? Hold on,
No,
let me
no.
catch
Well,
up.
that's why we're proposing.
You're proposing
We're
a change.
proposing it. It
Proposed, I'm
hasn't
sorry.
been-
I
hasn't
missed
been
it.
passed
Thank you.
yet.
Is there a document? I mean, what are you proposing to change in
Well, I'll
the
have to get all of
the-
that stuff to you.
the
It is
planning
actually
process?
It's technically on our website, but I'll get it sent off to Jamie.
Well, I-
But there's little pieces and parts of,
So what are you kind of changing in the, from the master plan report that you require
Well,
now?
so the master plan report that we're getting now is like, it's nothing.
It doesn't require.
Doesn't require anything.
Doesn't
but to
require any-
answer
One
your
has
question, Marlo,
traffic.
there is no change
Yeah, it does.
proposed for that master plan report.
And
This is specific to build,
I guess
when
I'm-
you come in with a building permit, like if you were Dave and you were.
The
you're
county
coming in
master plan
for
does.
that- For that project. Does that make sense?
I'm getting confused here, I guess. So in your regulations, you have a preliminary plat and a final plat process, correct?
Okay, and I'm speaking
And in the preliminary
specifically
plat,
for building permits, you're already platted, you're not doing a preliminary plat, you're already platted.
okay,
Your property is,
okay.
your property's already established, you're not.
So
you're
that's
not
building
subdividing.
permits.
Building
Yeah.
permits.
See,
That's what I'm
they
talking
haven't
about.
established anything really there.
And with those building permits, we don't have any civil drawings or civil plans that are required, and that's what's changing, just for the
We just want
building
that. We
permits.
want that so we know what the density model is. So we can follow the master plan.
So you've got me confused, I guess. So,
It's easy to do here.
well, no, I'm pretty easy to confuse.
No,
So, my understanding of the current process in the town of Alpine is a preliminary plat, and you have it listed, all of the items that you want handed in. And it's called a master plan report.
Okay.
You got your regs?
I'm getting them, boss.
And that lists most of the things that you are listing to me
Is
that has to come through in that study.
list?
And don't confuse it with a master plan. It's called, in your language, whoever wrote this called it a master plan report. But it has nothing to do with the master plan. It has to do with their preliminary plat process of platting lands to divide. So that we're all on the same layer here. Platting is all about dividing land. It's not necessarily about vertical, but it is about density and about what's happening. But we're not showing this is the buildings, although there's concepts, but we don't have that comes later, as I understand it, through the building permit process, right?
But in the density piece, if you're gonna, you have to give us what your density model is, so we can tell you if we're gonna approve your density or not.
Well, and I don't disagree. You're talking about the density of the number of lots, or whether it's townhouses or RV casitas or buildings or single or multifamily. So if you look at the major subdivision process,
So can I jump in just really quickly?
sure,
So there is no proposal on the books to change any of our simple, minor, or major.
okay, so you're gonna have that master plan
Regular.
report, okay.
You're gonna have that. We didn't really specifically look at
Okay.
that yet.
And you actually don't have any ordinance that I've found that talks about how you get a master plan approved of a complete development.
Sure.
We've done them in the past.
Correct.
But we have worked with the town and picked other jurisdictions
Yeah.
Subdivision process.
to provide the information.
Correct.
So we're kind of talking two different pieces and parts.
Okay.
I totally get what you're saying. You're subdividing land
Yep,
and you're doing a master plan report. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna say, hey, I got this piece of property and I'm gonna put, live-work units on it and whatever you're gonna do. And so you're gonna kind of identify in your master plan report
how the land's
the
gonna be
density-
divided.
The density that you're gonna
Okay.
do, but we're not proposing any changes at the current time, okay? What
To the
we're-
process of
To the
preliminary.
process
The
of
subdivision
subdividing
process.
For
the
subdividing,
land.
okay.
Okay.
What are you,
We're proposing that if you have anything above a single-family residential home, so you're gonna have live-work units, you're gonna have apartment complex, townhome complex,
yeah.
commercial complex, or whatever kind of building, we're proposing that you have to, give us a civil site plan by a licensed engineer. That's gonna have your water and sewer, your
Roads,
your
wastewater.
roads, your whatever you're gonna do. Roads, I don't,
so currently, doesn't that come under your PUD?
we're trying to identify it a little bit better.
So,
So,
help me understand your changes to the LU.
so I have a, what's the best way I can tell you?
I don't know, you're doing a pretty good job of breaking it down.
It's,
That-
what really started this on, Marlo, was how the paperwork was coming into Christine and what was really valuable and what was not valuable. And what we're getting is non-value. So for us,
We're just trying to have
For
better
us.
clarification.
here on this desk, doesn't matter what the town council needs to see, but for us, because we deal with planning and zoning and building, that when you bring us a planned unit development like that, it's not a picture. Right?
So, no, I don't disagree, so let's think about the one we did 2 or 3 years ago, Christine, north of, in the town, it was called, it was the Marlette Group.
Yeah, Elkhorn Meadows.
Now, we did that one too, but I was thinking of the
Well, that-
22 unit one that
that's-
hasn't started
Just the
construction.
Elkhorn Meadows. You're
Is that
talking,
Elkhorn Meadows?
yeah,
I thought Elkhorn Meadows was by Bugling Elk.
that's Elk Meadows.
Oh,
See, we gotta pick new names.
yeah, okay, you
It's-
got me
We're done,
confused.
we're done with.
All right, so Elkhorn Meadows, so Elkhorn Meadows, that's the one that is north of Targhee Place. It was townhouse units.
Correct.
So we came in, I believe, with a PUD and showed a complete master plan. Here's all the units, here's all the sewer, here's all, I think answering
It sounds like you
majority of
answered
the
all
questions that
questions
you
you said.
had just named.
Correct.
And here's what we wanna do, before any building permits are issued or anything, we're gonna, and this is what they look like, probably an elevation, I believe we handed in. And there were some storage units in the back, and there was a discussion whether they would be commercial or tied to the units, and I think they were tied to the units. Not, couldn't be rented separately to others, to the public. And so that's what through your PUD application, we came through and did a master plan and looked at, it was a civil, it was the sewer, it was the water. We were joint venture with Sunrise on that one.
Right.
And I think that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's
Is that-
exactly.
That's what I'm
yes.
trying to
That's what it
clarify
sounds like.
in
That's
my
what-
mind,
That's
what's your.
exactly.
It's both
That's-
and,
Yeah,
yes.
that's it.
That is, but this example, so
What's
just to
this one
double,
now?
this is how I think we're confusing you, to be perfectly
Okay.
honest. This is a lot. It's just one single happy little lot, and he's gonna put, 8 units on it.
Okay.
He's gonna put
Apartments,
4, he's
townhouses,
gonna,
or what?
apartments, 4
Okay.
on the bottom, 4 on the top.
Okay.
He's
So the land is already divided.
So the
here.
land is already divided, so we're not dividing any land. He's gonna retain all ownership of it.
Sewer and water is already,
Sewer
should
and
be out
water
in the
is-
roads
is
and
out in
the
the
electric,
roads and
telephone, et
everything.
cetera. Okay.
But what we're
This is the one we just
asking,
talked about, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, this
what we're
is
asking
earlier.
is that identification from that civil engineer to show, to document how that water's gonna come in.
For these
Where
guys.
that fire suppression's
Okay,
gonna come
all
in.
right.
And we're talking specific just to the actual lot,
To a lot that's already created
to a lot that's already created
and
now.
has a correct zoning and et cetera.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
And we're not getting
and-
that, we're
and
getting
one of the-
napkins, somebody who comes in and draws stuff. on a
Understand,
napkin.
understand. And so what's confusing me is you're looking at the building master plan.
Correct.
I'm gonna try to use words that make sense to me
Absolutely.
That's
and
great.
see if our semantics
Listen.
get good.
We can get there.
So these are building master plans, and what you wanna know is where the sewer's coming, the water,
Absolutely.
where the
Elevations, everything.
fire hydrant's gonna be,
Yep.
what the elevation is, where the drainage is, where the snow storage
Yep.
is going, et cetera, et
All
cetera.
of
et
the
cetera.
Absolutely.
Right. And
That's,
in my mind, when I'm talking master plan, I'm talking about dividing land. My specialty is dividing land. I don't know how people do anything with, vertical.
Sure.
And it's nice to listen to a guy that knows vertical. I know nothing about, well, not nothing, but mostly nothing about vertical. I understand about how to divide land properly and have legal documents.
Here's what I keep hearing when I get into going to all the meetings is, we're amending their plan.
Yep.
We're gonna amend their master plan, and he's already built this piece of whatever,
And they're back to
and now they're
changing.
coming back for more.
Okay.
Like, this
On
is,
on a vertical, that's difficult to do.
now it's time, we're gonna make it,
No, and I'm not just, now that I'm understanding, we're talking two different kinds of master plans, I think, right?
correct.
And so-
I know what your master.
The master plan that I'm talking about, typically, you come in and you do, look at traffic and biggest thing is density, and do you have sewer and water? Is there capacity?
Correct.
In the community, or are you bringing it in yourself, or whatever it is out in the county? We don't always have a central sewer water system to deal with.
So, and
Okay.
one of my concerns that we had with initially when, the Alpine Lakes was initially starting was, it was brought up that you guys wanted to use the 2018 master plan from Lincoln County. And that's what
That's
this
what
is.
we would start with,
Yeah,
yes.
and that's what
We
this
do
is.
plan to amend that
Okay.
after we're in the town.
Right, and so before I can get on board with those programs.
2018 to 2006. I
So-
got it. And that's where.
To 2006, all the allotments.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all we
that's
have.
what our master
That's all
plan
we
is here
have.
in the town.
Oh,
I'm
I see.
See, and that's where, that's like, we gotta slow the roll. If we slow the.
What you're saying is you don't know where you want your community to go yet.
Well,
You do know, we know in 2006, we had a plan.
sure, but it was on this side of the river.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Now
it's.
what you're saying is we don't know what we want out in the rest of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so if we look at the master plan that we might end up, we would like to see, a highway zone that is our town zone. And then it moves out from there. But that's in discussions that we've had here on this table. Now we're trying to just slow the roll.
Make it better.
Because it's always like the cart is so far before the horse here, well, let's annex. Like, for why?
Well, and it seems to me that if you're using cities the wrong word, town, sewer, and water, you probably ought to be part of the town, so that they can get the benefit of towns, at least this is my philosophy on this, is towns are basically financed by sales tax, rooftops. And sales tax in Wyoming is all about population,
Correct.
right? And so that's why there's annexation. We can go and do the plan that we have in the county.
But we realize it's not enough, now they got impact fees.
That may be true, that you need
Right, you
impact
need
fees.
the impact
And I'm not here to disagree with that by any means.
Correct.
because there are impacts that are happening for the future.
Correct.
There's no doubt about that at all. And developers ought to pay their fair share of that.
Correct.
No, I mean, really, when you get down to it, it's the consumer that pays everything, but we think the developers pay it. And if they have a successful business, the consumer pays everything, right?
That's right.
If they don't have a successful business, then the bank gets it, and somebody else picks it up, and the consumer will still pay, but a little less, right? I mean, that's the evolution of this game. All right. So, where we're at with Alpine Lakes is we have an approved master plan, and the way the county in the past has done it is they've looked at what I call a concept master plan, and that's what I think you see in the
Yeah,
document.
that's what I'm reading,
In the
yes.
final, not the land use plan,
No, it's.
but if you look in the final
The
determination.
comprehensive plan.
Yeah, but not even the comprehensive plan. So we're beyond the comprehensive plan. We have,
We're on.
we have an approved, by Lincoln County Commissioners, they have approved, I mean, you can glean a lot of nice stuff out of the comprehensive plan, but that's how Lincoln County
I was-
approves things.
To be honest
right?
with you, I was reading this for your project.
Yes, well, it has to do with our project, but we're already approved in the county for the drawing.
Correct.
Oh,
You have that with you?
hold on.
This one,
Yeah.
this was the latest master plan in 2018, right?
Okay, so,
So the county, we went through a similar process to kind of what you're talking about. We went to the county and said, we'd like to take this land that's in the county, and, oh, we got a big picture. Throw it out for them, I don't need to see it. Roll it
Well,
out in front of these guys.
I'm gonna come sit next to you.
Well, let's roll it out in front of these guys. They're the ones that, I mean, this is what's approved, and it's what I call a concept master plan. Now, so in the county's rules, the way they've handled these is you come in and determine, this is mostly, traffic patterns, right? Density, how many units, where green space is gonna be, trails, some of those basic things of dividing land. This hashed part is not part of that. That's where the warehouses got constructed.
storage units, yeah.
Storage units, yes. So, the way the county has approved master plans for land division is you would come in with an application and they would look at the density, traffic with YDOT, some of those things, and either approve or not approve, okay? Then, when you're ready to divide part of it, then you have to come in with a complete preliminary plat. The preliminary plat is showing the sewer, the water, the peak day demand, all of those things that you're looking for, I think. And if the preliminary plat is looked at and approved, and it's usually done in phases, okay, because doing this whole project at once, sometimes, some people may have the money for that, but not every developer does. So sometimes, and the market tends to control a little bit about what's going on. Now, we've been in a fairly hot market here, and so anything that gets built, or even divided, seems to go. But that doesn't always happen. I've gone through occasions in my lifetime when the market was down, and you were wondering what you were gonna do with this land division stuff. So anyway, all I'm saying is the county then goes through and looks at that detail through a preliminary plat with public meetings.
Correct.
And then, assuming the preliminary plat, then you have to do the construction of the improvements, sewer, water, in the county, it's electric, telephone, which is internet, and roads, okay? You build it the way, and there's a developer's agreement, you build it the way you've agreed to, based on the preliminary plat that's approved by the county. Then you can get a final plat. A final plat, in my mind, is the legal document that you can start selling title of lots to, so that other people can come in
Okay.
if you want to, unless you're gonna turnkey it yourself, which many developers, I haven't seen it in Star Valley, but In Utah and Idaho, they do the whole thing. I mean, they develop the land and they develop the building, the vertical, what I call vertical going up.
So let
Okay.
me say this.
Go
They
ahead.
showed us a bunch of pictures of what they wanted this to look like.
This is new.
So
Yeah.
none of this matches anything that they told us.
That's exactly right. So what we have proposed to the town is we want to change this master plan
Okay?
and do an amendment. We can't do that if we're not in the town. Okay? You have no authority to change anything. And so we came and said, well, let us annex, okay? And our plan is to come in and revise this, which is some of the plans that you've seen that they brought in, okay? The annexation agreement is saying, we want to come in with something. We already have something with the county. So we'd like to have the town consider this plan, as our base, as we come in and be annexed. But our intention is to come in, and it's a real intention, to amend this. But we can't, our hands are tied with the town to amend anything until we're part of the town, all right? So it's a little bit of a circle here, right?
Well,
A little bit of a catch-22.
Yeah, and it's the same on our end, too.
And so when we came into the town and started talking annexation, that was the basis or the theory, whatever you want to talk about it, or however you want to say it. So, that first part does look a lot different.
It does.
Because they're saying, well, I don't know that we need RV casitas right now.
Right.
The market's changed. There's a whole RV park at Snake River Junction. And it's a new developer also. So this was started by Weeman back in the day, and then the rights were sold to Funks. And so, right now, this is an approved master plan. The Funks could go to the county, file a preliminary plat, and they could make it happen,
Absolutely.
okay?
But they don't get the sewer and water taps that way.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah. The agreement is sewer, they're my understanding of the agreement is the sewer and water taps for whether you're in the town or not. Because you guys allow people to hook up to the sewer and water, whether you're in the town or not.
Correct, for a fee.
Not all towns do that.
Correct, for a fee.
For a fee, yeah. And they gotta build it all, and they gotta pay or whoever builds on a lot, and if they turnkey this and build their own structures, then they would be paying those hookup fees and et cetera. And if you have impact fees, and I know you guys are looking at studying impact fees.
It's another year.
Yeah, but have none for other things besides sewer and water.
Correct.
Hookup fees, are usually both an impact fee and then the cost of hookup, has been my experience. So we can go to the county, we can do it just like it is, and have that, and my philosophy has been, hey, we're gonna have central sewer and water. We already have a commitment from the town to have sewer and water, whether we're in the town or the county. That's already an agreement that's been committed,
Right.
okay? Why aren't we in the town so that the town gets the benefit of the rooftops? That's the way I'm thinking about things, okay? This does no benefit to the town except sewer and water side, because you're gonna sell them sewer and water if they don't come into the town.
Correct.
The revenue goes to the county.
100%.
So that's why I have suggested to my clients that they ought to be part of the town. I mean, to me, it makes sense. That if you are gonna deal with their sewer and water, why not be part of the town, be part of the overall, then the town has the review process and controls it, and this town controls it more than the county does by far, as you well know.
Correct.
And then it would be built basically under the town sky. So that's why we came to annex. And yes, we want to change this, but we'd like to have a base that we've already gotten approved from the county. And so the question, I don't know that the council had trouble with that. What I understood their question to you guys was, would this fit? in our zones. If we were to accept this in the agreement, would this fit our zones? Does the MRC allow RV casitas, townhouses? The other ones are R1. I don't think there's any question about the
Well,
R1.
the hard part is that it's changed so much.
It hasn't really changed.
This hasn't changed from,
That hasn't changed.
So here's
Well,
the history.
The concept pictures that you're
Yeah.
seeing are different.
Okay, pardon me.
Yeah, so these have already been gone through the county as
Yeah.
a preliminary and final plat, and improvements have
On the
been
1 acres?
on these 1 acres. This one was not part of it, these 4 right here. This is
Okay.
where they built the building and the ambulance
yeah.
is using now, just to let you know where things are. This is Samsung over here, and Barry, is it Barry, I think, lives here? Okay, so these have all been platted, and I think there's a home going in on,
Here and
there's a home here, and I think there's one going in here. These are vacant, all 3 of these. This is the one that Dave Jenkins owns. This is owned by the guy that owns the big house across.
Yeah.
He wanted open space, and there's a building here. I believe they're putting a building here, these 3 are still vacant. Okay?
I think that, where's
And so
the,
those have all been approved by the county as 1 acre lots, gone through a preliminary plat, final plat. To get a final plat in the county, you have to put the improvements in the ground. You can't bond like the town allows. You gotta put them in, get them inspected, and then you get to sell lots. And that's what happened with these 8, although they still own a number of those, and they've sold a couple of them, okay? This one was, through the county, it was approved as a lot. It was
they moved that.
Evolution.
No, they moved that house on.
That was a modular home, I believe. No, this one wasn't moved. I think this one was moved.
Is that
This is the one.
Maybe it
that's-
is, maybe it is.
Yeah, there's a cabin here that's been here for years.
Correct.
The
And then it's that
McSweeney
flat
house,
top,
yeah. And Funks have now have an agreement to buy the back half of McSweeney's, so that it would be part of this whole thing. So the history, and that's why I guess I'm here to help Christine or you understand where we're at with the county and why there are plats that they can sell on. But none of this here, outside of the 1 acre lots,
Is anything, it's just grass.
it's grass, and it just has a master plan approval. It has no preliminary plat, no improvements, although there's water lines going through it to get to these other lots.
I guess, Marlo, is it too much to ask that they amend this plan with the county first?
I think if they're gonna go through that, they're gonna just stay in the county, get it done. And they may still choose to do that anyway. I don't know where I think a lot depends on the 3rd reading as to what the thought is from the town. I mean, nobody likes headwinds. And if it's a headwind, maybe you just go and say, fine, you don't really want us, we'll go
Right.
do what we've been allowed to do. So that's kind of where we're at.
The only piece that I was ever worried about was just the infrastructure of the sewer and the water.
Yep.
Because once we started hearing numbers of 92% and max, and we were bumping up against max flow in the summertime.
Yeah, and my point on that one is unless I have misunderstood Jorgensen, because of the agreement the town has with now the Funks for credits for sewer and water hookups,
Right.
that was all part of that calculation already.
Yes, I don't.
And that's, and we need the engineer here to confirm that.
When I talked to them, it was, they had promised all the water for these units, that it was just this piece.
That's been approved. This
That
is
was
the
approved.
refuge.
The refuge had water.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with
It
this.
had nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with any of the credits.
And that's what I asked. I said.
That was a county-approved development that had central water to get a higher density.
And so when I asked them about this water, and I asked them about this, did you count this in your 92%? They said, no.
Okay?
So that's how I got to it. I
I'm
was like-
surprised that they would say it that way, but I agree with you.
And I could be wrong, Marlo.
No,
I get to be wrong every
But
day.
I could be too, Dan.
So
I'm not,
So.
we don't
I think-
have the engineer here to tell
Well,
us.
and that's the hardest part, right? We don't have the documentation from anybody that says verbatim how much water flow we have and how much sewer we have left over. So for me.
Sunrise has worked on this whole thing, in my understanding, there's plenty of
Sure,
water.
if the mega well.
That's- Yeah, but that's what's, is being used currently here. For those 1 acre lots, they're all tied to the mega well. And Targhee Place is all tied to the mega well. And so is Timberview.
But it was when the town this summer, when everybody's doing their sprinklers and and it's hot.
No, the mega is not connected. I agree, they're two separate systems. Taken care of, maintained by the town. Part of that credit agreement is they got the mega well, they got the easements to it, they got the, sewer pit for the pump that sits on this property that comes from Targhee Place, dumps it all. And it was all designed to have that sewer water.
Correct.
We can certainly bring the Sunrise into that, because they have looked at this and designed it based on the mega well and the forest main that goes to your system.
And
so,
it's all before my time. I'm just coming. and
Understand.
And seeing stuff
Understand.
that, where I come from, planning and zoning and development would have never allowed to happen, 80% would have been the max, 75% would have been the norm to set up a 20-year time limit.
it sounds like they weren't keeping a tabulation of promises, I guess. Is that the way to say that?
That's what I would assume as well. That's what it sounds
I
like.
mean, I don't know what they were doing. I know that they were anxious to annex about anything they could
Sure.
at one point in time. And
But that comes with a cost.
it does come with a cost. But I have always assumed, and I'm gonna have to call Kevin tomorrow, because I had always understood that they were looking at what they had committed to. What is the will serve? Calculation, right?
That was
And that could be-
concern.
And so but I could also be, Dan, because I haven't asked the question, and I thought I did, but maybe I haven't asked it right. Each time I heard Jorgensen's report, confusing engineers tonight, every time I heard about it, and it said, hey, we're at capacity. And then I would ask the question, I says, does that include the mega well? No, we haven't done anything with the mega well. That's just the system we have. But I didn't ask the question, and I will, is did that include all of your promises or exclude this promise? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's a vital question that
Yeah, I've got a
I don't know that I
highlight.
have an answer for that.
I don't.
I don't have a good one. Yeah,
I know enough to
understand
make
what you're
me-
saying now.
I know enough just to make myself dangerous. But for me, it was, sewer was, when I heard 92%, we don't have a plan.
For the next.
We have a $20 million number. And I'm going, well, 92%
Understand.
can go real
Yeah.
quick.
No, totally understand.
And
I
so
will
that
ask
was-
that question.
So that's where that came in. It's like, okay, let's just take a rest. It wasn't anything to stop, the planet. The last time we were kind of going, okay, let's just stop everything. We don't.
No, I'm sure there are a lot of, what? Misperceptions about why this is coming through. I mean, I hear a lot of different things.
And I'm not worried.
I don't know what
mean,
the
if they
facts are.
choose to do it, that's great.
Yeah.
If you don't choose to do it, then we better have some pretty good fiscal plans in place.
And I'm not disagreeing probably with the basic thought that you've got a lot of things that you need to put together that,
Correct.
for lack of information that should have been there with all the years of engineering that you had, isn't there, for whatever reason. I find that interesting too, but
Right?
it's just not there, they say.
Well,
And I'm going, whoa, really?
so now we have to come up with it.
Yeah.
Right? And it has to be a formed document that everybody gets to see for moving forward. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from on what you see as master plan.
Yeah, yeah,
So, Ms. Christine has a question.
Marla,
yes.
tell me what your definition of RV casita is.
It's a lot that's, what is it, 60 by 80? And it has a, what was it, I'm going from memory a little bit here. It had a place for an RV to be parked against a casita, which is a building. It's like a one-bedroom type building.
So,
Does that make sense? I mean,
Oh, like what
So
you'd see in
does it- okay, so
Arizona.
I
If
guess
you
my
look at what
question-
we sent
what-
you-
Okay, my question is this. Okay,
we had some
now,
pictures.
do I have a primary structure on there?
Yes.
And then I have a little RV.
And you have a parking
little
place for a
parking
large,
place for-
I don't know that
for
it
my
was a
RV.
little RV.
But
It
then
was,
do I have a little guest house?
no,
Little, called a
no,
casita?
no. The casita is
Is that a primary
the
structure?
primary structure. That's my understanding of what that is.
Is it, what's the square footage of that?
Oh,
No,
gosh,
it's-
it's pretty
Well,
small.
I don't think that
It
matters.
doesn't matter right now.
Well, it has to be
It was
under
pretty small.
300 square feet.
Um,
Well, because then you're gonna move into
A tiny home?
so we sent you, did Jamie send you the
So,
staff report?
I
And
don't know, I got this document today.
there should be a staff report.
Well, I got a
Let me get
couple of
out of
staff
this one.
reports. Well, I'm only asking because now that brings up a question. So the RV
Okay.
casitas, to me, could fall under a permitted use such as a
So when you-
residential duplex, townhome, multi-unit complex. To me, that could fall underneath there. The RV rentals.
No, those
on
aren't, oh, out on the front?
Out
Okay.
on the
That would be
front.
RVs, yeah.
That would be, okay, so if they're asking for an MRC.
What is in, I was thinking RVs were allowed in the MRC.
Uh-uh.
They're not.
So they're allowed in commercial, so but it's not a campground, so it's like RV campgrounds.
Do you have RV parks in your regs?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Snake River Junction
Hold on,
There's,
is county.
Yeah.
It's all a county approved RV park is what at least we call it. 107.
Cause I don't think we do.
I had somebody that wanted to do that.
mhm.
I'm not sure you have anything.
Recreational. Wait a minute.
Recreational vehicle
Hang on,
park,
I
that's
might-
what they're
I might-
called, that's
I might
right.
come up with a new.
So, in what,
Well, I'm just trying to figure out if that actually.
that's one of
Oh, I
the
just came across that picture in this book.
picture, it has an RV and a small building.
Yeah.
And as I recall,
That's what,
there gotta be less than 1,000 square feet in those
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah.
I would have,
Yeah.
I need to thumb through it. This is 2018 at least, and maybe even started in 2010. I know there's some sizes, there's a landscape, I mean, there was a lot of information put together to get that approved, I guess is what I'm saying.
okay, so what, the reason I'm asking
Go
is
ahead.
because the RV casita, from what you're kind of telling me, could be in essence a residential.
It would,
Duplex or a residential, single-family.
Single-family dwelling,
unit.
yep.
Okay, so.
See,
RV
casita, one
casita-
bedroom, one bath, let me see if that's,
that would be an R1.
It's allowed in MRC. One single-family or non-family household occupy a single-family dwelling.
Christine,
Oh, wait a minute,
this is, will be planned unit development.
Yeah, this is a,
it's already approved.
yeah, this is a, through the county, this is a
Once it
PUD
comes-
also.
Once it comes to us.
This would be a PUD under you with an MRC
With the
zone.
MRC designation, that I could have a single-family residential home of
So if I'm,
a specific size, so that would be allowable in that MRC zone. These townhouses are allowed in an MRC district, but the RV rentals that start right
yeah, you're
here,
telling me they may not be,
they might not, now that I'm,
those were some overnight stays
overnight,
up
kind of
front.
like an RV.
Yeah, an RV park, there was a
So
small RV park,
that's
as part of a
not-
PUD.
I can't find
So these
that.
one bedroom, one bath casitas,
Would be allowable.
they were 45 by 15,
30, is that what it is?
and then they had a 14 by 24 single car garage. And what did Jamie send you today?
It's a big old huge document.
Ah.
So I guess what I'm getting back
Okay.
at is the RV rentals would most likely fit better under a commercial zoning district. Where
Okay.
it says, visitor accommodations such as motels, hotels, inn lodges, and bed and breakfast facilities, and RV campgrounds. I don't know if I'd necessarily, I mean, you're renting it, so it could, in theory, be an RV campground. I don't know what you guys kind of think. Dan, I'm on page 63.
See, I'm on page 58,
I'm on 58.
where
I'm
it's,
bouncing back and forth.
where it says structures are limited to stick-built, manufactured, or modular units.
Okay,
And so this thing would have a foundation, a crawl space.
would have the whole shooting match.
It would be a sewer hookup, a water tap fee.
I don't think we're arguing that. I think what we're
So
doing.
here were the drawings, just so you give you an idea
We're
what
arguing the fact
RV
of
casita is.
if it's fitting into the zoning district.
No, I'm,
Just to
see,
answer
that's
your
the,
question about
that's
the
the
RV
problem about
casita.
not having a new updated master plan, is we're going off of something that's '06, and we're looking forward 35 and 40, right? And how do we, and that's the other part of this, it's like, how do we rationalize not having a master plan that's something that was done in '06 that is, and we're trying to look forward to 2040.
And I understand, with your town master plan, you're saying, we don't know what we want out there.
Well, it never had anything out there, you know, it was just like, we're
I
kind
agree.
of like in a
Agree.
whim and a prayer. And so what's the first question? What's the master plan say? No, it doesn't say it, throw that away.
Doesn't say anything.
How do we solve that problem? Maybe we need to update the master plan.
Did the master plan talk about, like Snake River Junction area or anything? It was just all on this side of
It's
the
all on the
river,
side.
right?
Yeah, I think there was a picture of just that portion, but there was nothing. And so, I mean, they have talked about it in every year, it's go back to hit the notes. Every year they talk, oh, we need to update the master plan. Well, now, it's like, you will update the master plan. We can't, how do we do our job?
Well, no,
And it's the general public who are looking at us.
Yes, yeah.
But
No.
that's the only thing.
No, I understand, from a
it seems
town
like-
master plan, when you don't have the area even in your master plan, it's pretty hard to look at anything.
Correct.
I'm like you.
Now we're trying to stretch.
All right, what are we doing?
I think those are RV.
What is our plan out there? And, the town has never looked at that
No,
at this
and-
point.
And that's,
Is it a valid concern? I'm not disagreeing with you.
And some of those, that's why this came into play. It's like,
Let's figure out what we want.
we wanna figure out what we wanna do.
Okay.
And it's not like,
What you got?
it's not like it's gotta happen this year. I mean, it could happen next year, but it doesn't make sense
Yeah.
to me.
Well, and the thing about town master plans is typically they are a day late and a dollar short, right? Because we don't worry about them until
We have to.
we have this booming market come in and everybody's wanting to do something, and now all of a sudden, it seems like a crisis, and what are we gonna do? And we have no guiding documents. Don't disagree with your thoughts at all. It tends to come in arrears on a lot of that.
Yeah, and that's a
Exactly
tough
right.
thing about being in
It
the
is.
world I live in, is we don't get to play like that. I have to know the first step. I gotta know second, third, fifth, 10th, 20 step, or vertical doesn't get built.
Right.
So I'm ingrained that way, where you're lateral,
I'm dividing land.
you're dividing land. And I get it, but sooner or later, we all have to sit in the same room and say, what do we do with that?
Yeah.
And what makes sense?
Yeah, I think we'll have to do a little bit more reading on the MRC and yes, ma'am.
So,
So I wouldn't disagree that the RV portion of it up front. The
so I'm
RV
gonna have
casitas,
to-
I think,
I
fit.
gave a copy
I
of
think the
this.
townhouses fit.
So we were tasked with looking at that annexation agreement and trying to provide
That's what this
comments to town council, correct,
Right.
as to, does this agreement fit
Fit.
in with this? And so now that I look at it a little bit more, the casitas, I believe, would fit. Obviously, the townhomes are gonna fit. The RV rentals, that
May not
probably
fit.
not gonna fit in that zoning district. But they asked us to review what we thought. And I guess it depends on interpretation. And I guess the big thing that stood out in our mind was that they were looking at, building within county codes and not necessarily town codes. Does that make sense? To the land use development code ordinance that we've adopted, and so
Yeah.
building inspections are required.
Sure.
And that type of stuff. So that's what
And, yeah, and that's what I was tasked with,
derived
yes.
of this, and had Jamie is in my conversation. So that's kind of what materialized a lot of that. But then she provided me the other conditional use permit that I obviously haven't been able to go through yet. So that's kind of what the train of thought is, if you can follow that train.
Well, the train of thought is you want to wait a year before there's much development in annexations.
That was kind of,
Isn't that the sum of it?
that was kind of the sum of it.
Yeah.
Is we need some time to get a water,
Water.
sewer, and a master plan
And
put
land,
together.
yeah.
But they've already submitted,
Mhm.
and as much as Dan doesn't want to hear this, they're already in the process,
Correct.
annexation
Yeah, they're already,
process.
so.
True.
But it does say, I read somewhere, don't know where it was.
We are in the pipeline,
We're in
is
the
what I
pipe-
would
We're in
say.
the pipeline, but any changes to the master plan would require additional review.
Sure.
So if they got rid of the RV casitas, or if they got rid of the RV rentals.
Which is what they have presented to you is, and I think Morgan or Trevor was here one night, right? And said, here's what we're really thinking,
Exactly.
but in the agreement, they're saying, we need something we need to start with. We'd like to keep what we have with the county
Exactly.
so that we know we have something.
Mhm.
And and that's where that all hit. And I think, but yes, their intention is to change it, at least, the front part of it, to what they've shown you. That is their expectation.
And it's all one big lot, so like you said, we're into,
What do you mean, one big lot? What's one big lot?
Well, right now, it's
well,
one
right,
big.
Oh,
well,
yeah, it's
no,
one piece of land that
one
has
piece
not
of
been
land
divided.
here, and then we have these,
You have 8 1-acre lots, and then you have one large piece of land.
so they're gonna
That's
have
correct.
to come back to planning and zoning to subdivide these.
Oh, yeah.
Not these, but this,
This-
whatever they decide.
If for
to
some
do.
reason we were ever annexed,
Yeah,
okay, then there's still,
There's still a
you have a
process.
preliminary
Yes.
plat process and a final plat process that we would come through and say, well, we would first, in my mind, we would come to you and say, we want to amend the master plan. Now we're in your jurisdiction, we've shown you what we want to do, here's what we'd like to get approved as this part of this development. And do you like it or not? Do you have I mean, we go through that whole process.
right.
And if that was actually, the new look was approved as an amended master plan in the town, then we would come back through with a major subdivision process with a master plan report for that particular phase. That's the way I kind of see the processes, right?
Yep, that would make sense.
So, just so you kind of know what we were kind of tasked with, I mean.
No, I
we
think
were
what you're tasked
trying
with
to
is,
get pieces and parts
is
of the
to
puzzle to put it all together.
correct. You were tasked with saying, yeah, it fits this part of the code and it doesn't fit this part of the code from a zoning standpoint. That was their question.
Correct.
And whether or not they, I mean, that will play into whatever their decision is, I assume. But,
So this document, I think, is gonna need to be revised a little bit.
the only thing, one of the things that I saw in that, you need to, I think the county has told you wrong, is in the very last page. And I didn't go through this in depth,
And I
but in
think
the back, it said,
Carl and I talked about this.
in speaking with the Lake County Planning and Engineering, after a permit is issued, the applicant has 2 years. That's a preliminary plat, not a master plan. So master plan has no expiration in the county.
That's the 2-year that I read.
Okay.
The 2-year that you're talking about is once you get a preliminary plat approved by the commissioners and you sign a development agreement
Correct.
that says you build this infrastructure, then we'll get you a plat or sign a final plat. You have 2 years to start construction of the improvements and 3 to finish. Or you lose and you have to start all over again.
Right.
That's the county rule. It has nothing to do with master plan approval.
Correct. But that's if they're in the county.
That's if they're in the county.
If they're in the town,
The town, you don't have a master plan
that's.
ordinance that I'm aware of through, except probably, we've used the plan, the PUD
Correct.
to facilitate that, like we did on both, the Elk ones. Elk Meadows and Elkhorn Meadows, is that what it is? I've forgotten the names anymore. Anyway, John Lotshaw and, the other guys.
Okay,
Anyway,
let me
does that
make
make
sure
sense?
Let me make sure I understand you correctly. They have been approved for a master
Yep.
plan by a conditional use
Permit,
permit,
that's correct.
and that conditional use permit is good. They
Has
have
no
to start
expiration.
some
That's
type of construction, infrastructure, or.
No.
Okay,
The conditional use permit has no expiration.
that has no expiration date on it,
So-
okay.
What would happen next in the county is we would make a major subdivision application similar to the town with a preliminary plat. And right now, the county's changed, but in the past, when that was approved, the county would take it for whatever phase you wanted to do. Okay? And you'd have a preliminary plat, let's say, for that front phase. And here it is, and that's when you look at all the detail. Here's And we've already done some traffic reports. I mean, they already got a left-hand turn lane out there. A lot of those things have already been done. So the county gets a preliminary plat, here's all the detail, here's what's gonna be constructed, here's what it's gonna look like, here's the lot sizes, in this case, the RV casita sizes. You can go ahead. You sign the agreement between the developer and the county, they start construction, bring in the improvements. That's the sewer, water, roads, et cetera.
And they can
Then-
take forever to do that.
No, they have 2 years. Once you have a preliminary plat approval, you have 2 years to start construction. And the county's pretty loose on what starting construction means, in my view.
And 3 years.
But you've got 3 years to finish, or your application goes away. And and then they don't sign the final plat.
What do they do?
So
if
you
they
can't
get,
sell
like,
any lots.
What do they do if they get, let's say, a third of the way? You know, they just say, I'm sorry, we're pulling your permit,
They could.
and they're stuck.
If they haven't completed it in 3 years,
Yeah.
in the developer's agreement that they both signed, it says, you're done. And that's the risk they take as a developer in Lincoln County.
And so what do
Because they have to have the improvements done before they can sell any
They
lots.
still own the property.
They still own the property, and they can start the process over again
Correct.
and deal with it. Yes, Dan, they could do that. I have not ever seen anybody not complete construction that they've started.
Well, yeah, once you start with this kind of money, this is not.
Yeah, when
this
you
is
start
not-
to put the money, the rubber hits the road.
This
right?
is where the rubber hits the road.
And so I think there's maybe one in all the developments in Star Valley since the early '80s that just didn't ever do anything, and there was a downturn in the economy back in the '90s, '80s or '90s, I can't remember when. But the rest of them, and now it used to be they would allow you to bond, so you.
Correct.
And to me, that all that is cash flow for the developer, because they can start selling lots before they finish the improvements. And so now they can't do that, though. You don't get to sell a lot or close on a lot. You can advertise and you can have commitments, but you can't transfer title until all the improvements are in and inspected
Do we
by
have
the
that rule?
county.
Do we have that rule here, Christine?
You have a bonding rule.
I like this other rule.
I think you have no, you have the bonding rule.
The bonding rule.
125% performance per month. I believe this town has the bonding. The county, 10, 15 years ago, they used to allow the bonding.
Yeah, but if
But
you
you
don't
can't
get to
sell a
sell.
property if you don't have a warranty deed on it. So if you don't have your final plat, you're not gonna
So,
have that
yeah,
subdivision.
and the
of land.
theory is if you do it with a bond or a letter of credit or whatever, financial surety, they can start selling lots, and if they don't finish it, then you invoke the bond and go finish the improvements. And there were some in the county that said, this is just too much to keep following if they don't ever do it. So they went to the new structure. And so, yeah, you can't, you get $0 until all the improvements are in place, inspected, and approved by the county, staff and commissioners.
So
That
this
makes sense.
conditional use permit is valid.
Yes.
Because they were approved, they started.
No, there was no construction required.
No, they started the infrastructure.
No,
Within
no.
the 2 years because they
No,
had
no,
the mega
no,
well.
I'm telling you, this is not a rule in the county that you've written down here. This is a rule, I know, they're rookies though. Okay, they haven't been there long.
Okay.
This is what happens with a preliminary plat. If I have a preliminary plat application, then I get approved by the commissioners, there's a development agreement that the commissioners sign and the developer signs that says, you do these improvements and we'll give you a final plat after we inspect them. And it lists, the road specs and what they're supposed to do, okay? In that document, that's when it says you have 2 years to start, 3 years to finish in that developer's agreement, okay? CUPs or master plans in the past have had no expiration date. The county at the village just started up again. It died in 2010, and we need to get you guys home.
No, I gotta stand up. These chairs are
I
not
just-
comfortable.
So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
There is no construction required for what we've done.
Got it.
When we go in and file a preliminary plat for all of it or part of it, then that will be invoked in the development agreement.
I
that
kind of
statement.
like this idea of not being able to sell the lots until your development that infrastructure is done. That makes a lot of sense to me. Because you're leaving a lot of people on the hook if you went and sold all your lots and you didn't finish the task.
That's why the bond is in place, though.
But you gotta follow it.
And hopefully it hasn't inflated,
have enforcement.
so that you have enough, the county has enough money to go fix it.
That's
Correct.
And that was some of their concerns. I think both ways work. I've seen them both work, but
I mean, if you have.
you're more sure with the county's way now that you have the improvements and everybody is protected.
Correct.
Nobody's out. Yeah. So it's not a bad idea. And
It's not a bad idea.
And it's worked well. None of the towns have taken that stance. They're all still, both Afton and you, allow a financial surety.
That's 'cause it's
To get a
the
final
person
plot.
who wrote our land use bill.
It's true. The same guy wrote both of them. I agree.
Wow, they're pretty similar, aren't they?
They're very similar. It certainly makes my job easier.
You don't have to remember most.
I don't have to remember 3. I can remember 2. Yes. Anyway, I appreciate your time tonight. I was here mostly to answer questions.
Thank you for that.
Christine was asking a lot of them, well, where did this come from? How did this come from?
Well,
And
this
what
land-
really happens, where it is, everything else has been approved by the county, put in before we got a plat on the 1 acre lots. That's all finished and done. So all that is bringing it into the town. And the town wants the easements for all the pipelines, which they should get.
Sure.
And so the rest of it is in that final determination and the staff report for the 107 PZ 18. That's the one that really guides where we're at in the county right now. All the other paperwork, we were just sharing with you so you could be messed up like we are.
Just for some.
You think she needs any more?
I don't, but she wanted to know, well, how did this get approved? How did this? Well, here's it was a process of many years. We started that, in 2010, I think.
Yeah.
And in 18, we did a couple of master plans of the 1 acre lots and through all that. But what's really in place now is the 107 PZ 18. So if you look at that staff report, which is the big one you have, that has all that information, and the final determination, that's what the commissioners have approved.
Okay.
The rest of it's all basically done. It's already divided into lots that can be sold, whether it's in the town or the county.
And then somebody created this annexation agreement at one of the attorneys.
Kevin Boyles
Okay.
prepared the annexation agreement and is waiting for comments from both the town attorney, the town council. I mean, I don't know that that's a final draft. That was, here's what we're proposing. Do you have any, would you
I
like
think
to see
there's
any
still-
changes?
Town council wanted the commission to look over the annexation agreement, identify whatever they thought.
They did.
And they are still waiting for legal
Okay.
to come back on that.
And I haven't seen that either, right. I'll get out of your hair so you can go home.
No,
You guys,
we still have some, we still have some stuff.
We got
Sorry
an hour,
about
we got
that.
an hour yet to go.
No, we do not have an hour.
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be an hour.
It is not gonna be an hour.
There's things on that list that we have not talked about for months.
The noise complaint, no, we're good. We're not gonna be here for an hour. We already have the public comments done. See, we have one.
Okay,
we only
I get the
have 2
public comment for
Just so you
myself
know.
then.
things. Not for an hour.
you do a good job.
Thank you.
You really do. And I know I'm usually on the opposite side of the fence, but, I mean, you look at things and you hold people to what the rules are.
It
And
sucks. It sucks.
it's called law. We believe in law. And when we write
Stuff on the
laws,
law book doesn't really sell you much.
well, then you need to change some things.
That's what we're trying to do.
You're exactly right. I talk to the commissioners and they want to approve things that aren't in the rules, and I'm going, you can't change the rules in the midstream. I don't have a problem. Maybe this rule needs to be changed. That's great. Go through the process, let's get it changed, and then hold me to it. But don't let me come down the Primrose Pass and then you say, oh, we don't like it that way. We want you to change it, when you've told me I can get
Yeah.
approved if I fit that minimum.
See, we have this land use development code, but in my mind, I have the IRC and the IBC.
You're thinking two different things.
Right.
Again, you're both vertical as well as two
And I'm
dimensional.
learning
lots.
this.
Two different ways.
I'm learning, and sometimes it's hard for me, because I'm like,
Yeah,
what the heck?
there is no IBC for dividing land.
Yeah.
No.
There are state statutes
No,
that
but-
give authority.
But where we sit, we have to deal with the IRC and IBC.
I agree. And so your building size, lot sizes and that density is what we
That's
would
a
be
big one.
providing you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marlo,
Thank
have a
you,
good
Marla.
night.
Appreciate it,
Thanks.
sir.
Take care.
Yes,
Yep.
thank
Drive
you.
careful on the way home.
Okay, utility
I will.
connections.
Have
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Utility connect, oh.
all right, so Sue wanted to review this.
Yes.
And, she did not provide any information as to the, how it's implemented.
Oh, that's right. She
Non-user
does already
rates
got it, yeah.
who are not residents of the town shall be billed at a rate of 125%. Now, we have that mechanism for
Sure.
anybody that is in our service area that's not annexed into the town. But she was talking about a different, elevated rate for
Non-resident.
yeah,
And this isn't it.
well, this is what I got.
So we'll have to wait for her to come back. I mean, she has one meeting left.
See, if you
so-
look at the, you know,
So somebody
Sure.
that's a seasonal resident is gonna get charged additional money
correct,
versus,
correct.
you know,
Year-round
And
residents.
it was sizable.
It was sizable.
I have that sheet sitting on my
It was
desk.
sizable,
It was a very, it went from.
substantial,
Yeah, there was some serious money there.
yeah. Yeah. we'll
I
have
just
to wait
don't know
for
how
some-
you're gonna enforce it.
You know, and I think, I'm wondering if usage, if we go back to a usage scale.
How's that hour gonna treat us?
Well, and you look at it like this, what happens if you use, you know, what's the average rate per month? Do we use, you know, 1,500 to 2,000 gallons? What is it when somebody is using 7,000 or 8,000? Shouldn't there be if we're not gonna do something like that, can we charge for more water being consumed than what the normal rate is? So if you're using 2,000 gallons a month, you're getting the average rate. If you get up to the, you know, if you move up and you bump
8,000
to
or something,
3,000 to 6,000 for all those big lawns that they're watering,
Yeah,
maybe they get triple timed
yeah.
instead
But
of a
there
single
also-
time.
And there also has to be a mechanism in place for a broken water line, which doesn't always get caught. And that mechanism will change once we get the new,
Radio
well,
read meters,
yeah.
yeah.
But there also has to be something in the books
Sure.
as far as
Yeah,
if the water
point
line
taken.
breaks and the client does
Point-
not know that.
But you know, it's like, it's point of contact, you know, it's the water going from their house. They're responsible from the street to their house,
Right.
right? So, sorry.
Yeah, but if you don't realize that you have had a water leak and you've got water leaking for a while, and, I mean, this has happened a few times where people have gotten like
Sure.
$1,000 of bills for water.
And I understand that's why Craig wants the meter out by the road. I get it,
Oh, yeah.
right? That's why he wants it, because people have been cheating and doing their sprinkler systems and tying into the water and running their sprinkler system for free. So I get it. we'll see what happens when we get one of those 60 below winters. We'll see what happens. So I'll just leave it at that. But I think that water consumption for people who are using water,
But Sue is talking about the opposite way. So if I'm a seasonal resident and I come up here for the summer, I come up here for 3 months out of the summer and stay in my summer cabin, I should be charged more than you who live here all year long because I'm not, I'm still tapping on the system.
you're still paying property tax.
I know, but I'm just sharing info.
I know.
I didn't think about it, I didn't know that that's how she was.
That is, what, am I not?
Yes, yeah.
That's what
And
I
it was
said.
sizable. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
we're talking, you know, like into the 20,000s of dollars. All right.
Okay.
Was it Driggs or Victor did they do that in, do you remember?
Drigter.
Dan? Drigter?
Director,
Both of them. I don't know.
director.
Director.
Alta, Wyoming.
Was it
Oh,
Alta?
that's where her friend was.
That
Yeah,
was
it
Alta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were gonna try to, yeah, she was gonna look at
She
how
was
they,
gonna- How they
how they
enforced it.
monitor that.
Yeah.
All right. Sound, noise
Okay,
ordinance?
skipping along.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'd
I-
like to do
Yep, read through it.
is, here's your ordinance.
Yeah.
We removed
Stuff in red.
the stuff in red.
Added the
We
blue.
added a definition of right-of-way, which this is the same stuff that we had before. We're making this 7 to 7, because we talked about 7 to 7, Monday through
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll see.
So that's the only changes that and then,
Time sensitive.
construction activities.
And I like that
And
you.
we put it in here,
Yep.
and then we changed it to blue to identify blue is the secondary changes.
Okay.
So basically, we're taking out all of the other stuff and leaving the 7 to 7 Monday through Sunday.
Okay. And
So-
then we did the change to time
Time
sensitive.
sensitive.
I dig it. I'm glad you guys put that in there. Thank you. That was a good idea.
So they should be going on to a third reading.
Perfect.
Well, I'm not sure what they're doing, to be perfectly honest, because
It looks good to me.
I have no idea.
So, are you ready for this motion?
Yeah. Yes.
I want to make a motion
Sorry.
that we send recommendations from the planning and zoning to the town council on the, what are we calling this thing again?
The noise ordinance.
Noise ordinance, thank you.
I second said motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Done.
Okay. Perfect.
And just to double back for your information, this is also put into the land use development code. This is the exact same stuff
Okay,
that's in your noise ordinance.
perfect. The noise ordinance.
All
Okay,
right.
what's next? LOI, ACS
Okay.
property agreement?
Well, wait a minute.
No?
What, how come I have something different on this?
I can't answer that.
I know I can't either. Okay, so, I'm gonna revise, this, little report for that
charter
organization
school.
that I came up with, okay?
December
Just so you know.
open discussion.
To include, I've gotta read this report here. I have to get it done by Thursday to give it to
November 13th.
the powers that be, so that way it can go
That's
to town
tomorrow.
council. So,
What do we?
be prepared, okay? So now, LOI, you ready for that?
Mm-hmm,
Do you see the email?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Government body town climate.
So basically, now I was asked me to request the P and Z Commission to review, oh, this is the wrong one. I don't want that one.
You want this one?
I want this one.
If
Okay.
you recall, there was
Here
much,
we go.
Oh, sorry.
Much discussion about the terms of the LOI
keeps
for the
moving me
Alpine
down.
Charter School. They're scheduling a work session, for December 3rd at 7 PM. And they would like each of us, or us as a collective group, to, list questions or concerns that you need addressed by the charter board. She will combine all of these and then present them at the December 3rd meeting. Here's your LOI. Where's my other piece of paper?
This one?
Okay, here we go. I said
This
before,
is it right here?
that's the letter of intent. And there should be something attached to that. So I said, first off, prior to any agreements, the parcel of land owned by the town needs to be identified. I'm not gonna go through a bunch of different questions.
Exactly.
Unless you have the property identified. Apparently, there's been some emails back and forth. I got one today that, what did it say? Something about they like 9 acres of land or something like that.
Is there a legal description of the lot?
Oh, no.
Well, then, there is
Okay.
no lot.
Well, hang tight. Well, hang it tight.
She's getting anxious.
I know.
See how it goes? Get into government, get
Okay.
all surly.
Yeah, no, I think she was
I've come
surly
up with a
before.
strategic plan,
Oh, that is that, okay.
okay,
I just looked at that,
Where-
okay.
for just 9 acres of land. It's gonna be a lot consolidation, technically a lot split and a consolidation. So that would consist of half of the CDC lot, the skate park lot, number 11, and the ball field lot, number 12.
Oh,
We're gonna lose the ball field.
part of the ball field.
The whole ball.
We're gonna lose the ball field.
Now, the only other, so
Oh.
keep.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at the
So
color
that's
picture, I
okay, that's
apologize.
okay. Well, that was just to kind of help you figure out what exactly I was thinking.
Okay.
Is that the library right there?
Library is the
Yep.
red roof building.
Yeah, so that is Snake River Drive, right? It's like lot, right here. Isn't this
The
the-
library's on lot 3. No,
This here's the
the library's,
Oh,
the
okay.
library's down here.
Isn't there like a daycare over there?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the CDC,
All right.
which is the gray roof building in this picture.
And does it go away, or? is it-
Oh, no, it's staying there.
All right.
But it's gonna, so what they're gonna do, if we look at this piece of paper over here. This is the whole lot 10. CDC sits up on the top part of the lot.
Correct.
So they're gonna, a proposal is to adjust the lot line. So you'd abandon this lot line, abandon the cul-de-sac, and then keep the skate park lot.
And so, what's the value of these 3 lots or lots?
That's, for the town council to decide. That's not mine.
Well, I mean, it is us asking a question to the town council. What are the properties worth?
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Properties worth.
The retail value of these lots on the open market are what?
Well, the town's not gonna receive any compensation.
They're
But
not,
I think
they're
what
not,
he's asking is if you enter into a lease, you are in essence
renting.
taking, how do I say that? You have a value of the lot. If you split the lot off, the CDC lot, you know, let's say that's worth, I like round numbers, 100,000. You split it in half, now you got 50 and 50 here. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, but all of it right now, it's the town lot, I get it. But on the open market, the town could turn around and sell it on the open market for X. What is that? 5 million?
I personally think that's commit suicide. So like the way I did that.
No comment.
I don't know. I mean, mean, that's a
This
question that we can put
This is
on
just
the
your
list.
solution for what they were asking you
Well,
to do. That's
exactly.
one of the many
This-
solutions that we could come up with.
To be perfectly honest, I was like, I came up with a huge long list, okay?
I saw that, yeah.
And before we go down this huge long list, slippery slope, what do you need?
Yeah.
Figure out what you need or what you're willing to do before you know, do lot line adjustments.
No, that's
Creating additional lots.
That was a great idea with you.
Changing zoning, you know,
Yeah.
construction of municipal streets. All of these other
Yeah, no, that
items
was,
that fall into that.
that's a very detailed list, Ms. Christine, good job.
Well, but the question needs to be answered is, what do you give them? What's your proposal?
Yeah.
Well,
What-
that's-
What do you?
That's what,
That's what I'm asking.
What
yeah.
if I get an agreement?
It's-
Yeah.
Be it 4 million, be it 5 million, what are you giving away?
Well, and as long as we're not giving it away and it's still land that we still own, and I think that's what I was reading on this as
So I guess the
well.
question to you guys is, because I have to turn this in tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They want a, like,
One of
really
my questions
long
is,
lease.
Yes, ma'am.
we're going to, Jeremy was talking about, you know, because I was saying, you know, we give them the minimum we have to give them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but of course they want more because they're saying that they were gonna expand in the future. And I was saying that the term of the lease, I wouldn't want to be for any more than 15 years. In 15 years, they should either be able to be a success, or will know that they're not gonna be a success.
Right.
So I don't want, you know, because he was saying that in order for them to get financing, they may need a 30-year lease. Well, I don't think the town should be responsible, because what are they gonna do? Are they going to leverage the town land to get the lease? And then, should they fail, and my research has shown that 20%, 25% of charter schools fail within the first 5 years. 40% fail within the first 10 years. So I think they really have to consider what's gonna happen if they fail. If they fail after 7 years, they haven't paid off that building that they borrowed money on, leveraging a 30-year lease from the town. Who controls that lease?
It's a great point, Pat.
So is the charter board then gonna have this lease and gonna be able to use that building and that land for some other purpose to make money? Or is their lender going
Gonna
to
try to repossess it.
repossess the property or the
Oh, I see where you're
building
going.
and the lease?
I
and
see
do
where you're
something
going.
with it?
Yep.
You know, so it's
No,
like,
that's a good thought process.
so we're giving up, you know, if it's gonna be 30 years, you're giving up however much that land's worth, the use of it for 30 years.
Are you suggesting that on the lease, the town of Alpine is, or the ownership transfer, that the town of Alpine is listed on that piece of property?
Well, I don't know as far as I would want the lease. I don't know how they would do that. If they could, to say, if this school isn't successful, your lease is null and void. But I don't know if we can do that. You know, and I, you know, at one of the meetings, Mr. Funk indicated that, oh, there's private funding for this. Like, you know.
Show us
people
where.
Chipping in to pay for it, well, great, but no, they're not. They're gonna borrow money and they're gonna use the lease, you know, the charter school's gonna use the lease of our land as collateral for.
So do we know that for sure?
Why else would it matter how long they need the lease for to get funding? Jeremy said that they would probably need 30-year lease
just state this on the record again as well, is that I do not want us as a town to just give up our land, of course. I mean, I think that's a given all the way around, all the way across the board with everybody, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that mentioned many times, not just from citizens, but many folks who are employed by the town as well as citizens. It still should be our land, but you've got a very valid point.
So, let's go back to my very first question then, and we can maybe, we don't have to go the rest of this, because I hear what Pat's saying. So, prior to any agreements, the parcel of land needs to be identified. You need to identify what you need. And then your second thing would be, your term of your lease. And your third would be a
Ownership of the building if something goes.
exclusion of town-owned land. I don't know how to say that. Does that
Oh, I
make
see what
sense?
you're saying. I see where you're going.
Does that make sense?
I mean, I don't think you can,
How to do it, I mean, because the charter board is gonna own the building,
Right.
but I'm just thinking, like I said, I think they have to consider if the school doesn't succeed, which is a possibility, and I think the town needs to consider that. What happens to the land in conjunction with us giving them a long-term lease?
She's got an idea.
So the ramifications
She's
of
on it.
a,
This is the last thing besides the minutes.
I need a different word.
The
other than-
ramifications of.
Not failure, a different word.
it's like how do you break a contract? You know, you're
A breach of contract, oh.
in, yeah,
No, but I get what she's saying, if 25% are in the first 5 years, and 40%, that's a big
jump for 10 years.
in another 5 years, right?
Yeah.
That's what my research says.
well, are you saying it's 25 and then,
It escalates to 40 over the
To-
next 5 years.
so the payments are gonna go up?
No.
No,
The failure rate. Oh, I see what you're saying. Rent, so all of a sudden, let's say, just for kicks, don't anybody get excited here. I'm gonna enter into an agreement. You're gonna pay me $100 a month for the first 5 years. And then
Who's paying
the
the
term-
$100?
Oh, she's
whoever's renting from me, the land, whatever, whoever
She's just
I've entered
problem
into
solving.
the lease agreement. I'm just using those numbers because I've run them. So you're gonna pay me, for the first 5 years, you're gonna pay me $100 a month.
Mhm.
Then, within the next 5 years, that amount is gonna double to 200. Because then that takes you to your magical 10-year,
correct.
40%.
But they're not gonna pay rent.
You got a lease?
They
got a
got,
lease
I'm
agreement.
leasing the land.
It's gonna be $1 a year. The town is not gonna charge them.
Okay, but I'm just using this for instance. So,
Well, some smart business people are gonna be asking the town, what in
Yeah.
the freak are you doing?
right,
Well, I know, but
Because here, the thing is so amazing is they're dumping it on us. And we're dealing with school lease and all the issues, right? What is that of our responsibility?
well, they're asking your opinion. They're gonna have to make the
No, but we're doing it, right? We're like, hey,
Trying
let's,
to come up with a plan.
Yeah, I mean.
maybe we're the thinkers in the group.
Jeremy said it would be like a nominal,
well, to me, $100 is nominal. I mean,
Nothing.
nothing. Okay, ramifications of a breach of contract.
Correct.
There you go.
It's a breach.
Yep.
So basically, our top go-getters identify the parcel, or identify the need, the term of the lease, an exclusion of the land,
What do you?
how do you wanna say that?
Well,
A financial exclusion of land.
Hmm.
Anybody?
Yeah, no financial exclusion of the land, that makes sense.
Dan?
I'm pondering that.
Okay.
I
And then
think
the
that,
ramifications of a breach of contract.
correct. I think that in some fashion, we need to be asking, we need to ask, what are we giving up? What is the town giving up? Because you'll have no control, the town will have no control over the building that they build.
No, we will. They have to
Not the
live up-
design.
No, yes. Because if you are gonna put in your lease that you are going to. I know
As
I
a town, we
should
should,
have
yeah.
been an
Put it
attorney.
in there.
I should have been an attorney in a previous.
we should, we should have the final say of what the building looks like.
Absolutely. Now, I think that if you read Eric's letter a little bit, it
Yeah.
does say that, you know, it's gotta fit the certain, you know, criteria that the
Yeah, but we
town.
don't have any criteria
For a school, or just for a commercial building?
for a commercial building.
We don't have any criteria for a commercial building? Be crazy.
Design, no.
Oh, not the design.
No, but
Okay.
we have an architectural review committee,
That's just a guideline.
and they don't have any rules to
Okay.
designate that either.
Has all, okay, give me a word. Has all authority, jurisdiction over structure. Anybody?
Yeah. I think that works. Something along those lines.
Okay. I'll kind of rephrase that just a touch.
Well.
I mean, you know, but basically, that's basically,
Yeah.
design guidelines.
So,
Has final say on design guidelines.
No, there you go.
all right, so let me say this.
Sure.
What is the one way they could screw us out of that property?
Change the deed over to their name.
I'm just saying, what is the one way they could screw us out of that property?
Screws on what?
On the property,
On the property.
I would say change the deed on the land.
Subdivide the property? I don't know, where are you going?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, what's the one thing that we fear, right?
That we would lose the
We're gonna
land.
lose control of that land,
Yeah.
right? So, what language do we have to put in there that we'll never be able to lose control of the land? And I don't know what that is, but I'm saying the worst case scenario, everybody was, what happens if they fail? Well, we get the property back, but we're not gonna get the building back because we don't own that building.
And if you give them a 30-year lease, they're gonna have control over that land for that amount of time.
For that amount of
They're
time.
And they can't, I guess you can't really do
But
something
you can't,
about them.
so you need to have an exclusion in your lease that you cannot assign your lease to anybody else.
Oh,
There's
there
a-
you go, there's a kicker.
That's
Good job.
That was it.
That was it.
See, now we're thinking, you're thinking about, how do you get screwed in this deal? And the 30 years is a long time to wait for you to do something, tear down a building that's,
And may I ask a silly question too?
it's never silly.
Is this, because it's a charter school, is there a way for them not to price out the locals from said school?
No, they can price out anybody. It is a pick and choose, and that's the biggest
It's
issue.
a lottery. It has to be a lottery.
Yeah.
And once, like, you know, everybody can apply, whatever, and once your child is picked, they, you know, they're picked there for as long as they want to go to school there.
But you
You know,
pay.
so they're talking about a K through 12. Plus, any of your siblings would be included. So if people from, you know, Etna and Thane and Star Valley or whatever, you know,
Should even Rock
get some big
Springs, yeah.
families, it's conceivable that they would be at capacity and there wouldn't be room for new Alpine children, which was one of my big concerns, you know, I said.
I think that's a valid concern. I mean, I would be concerned that, you know, Alpine's always been such a blue-collar worker, blue-collar community, and a lot of us blue collars don't make hundreds of
What's-
thousands of dollars a year.
What's the
right?
cost per student?
Well, the tuition's free. I mean, you know,
Oh.
technically it's a public school. So tuition is free, you know, I mean,
Okay, my mistake.
How does that work?
well, they'll get whatever money that state would give to the school system, the Lincoln County school system, per student, they would give to the charter school. And I think it's like, you know, $19,000 per student.
So it behooved them to go ahead and get as many students in
Right away.
within, yeah, right away.
But see, that's one of the problems too, is that will they get enough
To cover the
to
cost.
cover their cost and to be, you know, be profitable? It's a, you know, it's a for-profit business.
And how are they gonna get the teachers? They wanna pay them, I mean, they were paying them like a pittance compared to what was being
Well, they
paid.
said 70,000, but that included benefits. That wasn't salary plus, you know, that was like insurance.
But
and-
Yeah.
Get the girls up in Jackson, man, well over 6 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you can't, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
some of the numbers,
And, you know, they said that they were gonna be able to get teachers from Utah to come here, but then, you know, then we said, well, where are they gonna live?
that's it. And can they afford to live here?
Okay.
Okay, but circling back to what we were just asked to get a list of questions and concerns.
I think that's a great list.
Once they identify that they need this property, then we can go into lot line adjustments and development of other public improvements and that type of stuff.
Which they're gonna pay, because that's what the mayor
That's what the
says
mayor
here.
said, yeah.
Honestly, I'm not really concerned about that. I'm just concerned about, identify what you want,
Okay.
I mean,
That works.
How much town property is there back there?
There's a lot. It's almost all town
You know,
property.
at one point, Mr. Funk said 23 acres so that they could, you know.
Yeah.
No, you ain't getting that.
Fields and whatever.
Lot 9 is 9.53 acres. I whited it out with stuff. Lot 11 is 2.69, lot 12 is 5.59, lot 10 is 2.77, but it has the CDC on it, so.
And you said somebody was asking about 9 acres?
Yes.
Was,
Wasn't that in that email you got?
I didn't get an email.
Well, you better check your emails tonight.
Whoa. It's gonna be late. Think she wants to look at her email?
Yeah, because,
all right, can I ask one more, please?
Yes.
We
I don't
need,
know.
have we contacted Mr. Lashcon about his easements that he has to create?
I haven't done that yet, no.
Is that something that you have to do, or is that something he's gotta do?
Well, he's not.
Well, he's got to, it's a requirement. Using other people's sewer lines going across your piece of property means you gotta give an easement.
I thought we were gonna contact Sanderson.
I don't know, did you?
No, I haven't had it.
She's been busy.
I could barely pull off this meeting.
Well, you did a really great job for us.
You actually did. Can we like maybe say that after we get done with them?
Yeah.
The rest of the meeting before we give her too much congratulations.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
You just never know.
No, I like that letter and I like all the research that you've done, Ms. Christine, as far as, the questions and everything. I dig it.
Okay.
I think you did a good job. And I think
I do
that's
have a comment, but I'll save that for,
after number 8.
Well,
Okay.
should
All
we,
right, so we've got any public comments or concerns?
and remember, I have to turn everything off.
I've stated my concern.
you
Good.
stated your piece? Great, we can scratch it off the
Okay.
list.
I'm looking for approval of minutes for number 6.
Let me-
Health rep.
Lori, did you have a chance to read those during that, or is that something that you?
I've been scanning them a little bit as we went.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not, I just
So-
barely
Did you,
skimmed.
did
Take-
you want to table it, or,
No.
okay,
What I,
Do you want to table it until next, I mean, it is like,
okay, we can table it.
It's 20 to
Okay,
11.
I
If
make
you
a
wanna-
motion that we table the minutes till next meeting.
well, I mean, if there's
That's
any
fine.
concerns or questions, then we should,
I think
for
we
sure.
should, yeah.
Okay,
Let's table,
okay, we're tabling.
okay?
Apparently I got more homework to read.
Okay.
well, that's okay.
And I
I think
make,
I heard you second that motion.
I second said motion.
and
All
then-
in favor?
aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second said motion. Any further discussion? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, hold on.
It'd be,
I'm gonna go get
Meeting
mine.
adjourned
9:36.
at
No,
10:37.
10:36. You're looking at the wrong clock.
You know what? They forgot to turn the clock.
No, sweet boy.
No,
You
that's what time
no,
it is.
This is what time it is. It's almost 11 o'clock.
Oh, man, how come nobody tells me this
We
stuff?
tried. You
What
were
time?
talking with Sean.
You've got one.